Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is Ryan of Happy, Healthy, Vegan, your vegan cult leader of all things vegan. I apologize. I was wondering why no one made any comments before the live stream. I got this scheduled about 3 hours ago or so, and no one was commenting. And I realized I was stupid, and I made this private. I just reused the settings from last week, 4th of July. I didn't think I privated that one. I'll have to check later on. It just sucks when you're a little tired. I worked out pretty hard at the gym today, played a lot of basketball, so I didn't look for everything, when, you're not as careful, I guess. But anyway, welcome everyone. I'm sorry for any confusion if anyone was wondering if this live stream was going on. But aloha to AJ, and hello Travis and Nikki and By the Book and Varlas. And I guess that's it so far. That's what I get for not scheduling the live stream properly. So anyway, yeah, your cult leader is stupid sometimes, and that's how it works. I'm kind of curious. I want to see last week's live stream here. Did I really make that private? Let's see. Refresh 1 second. Hey Peter. Let's see. Live stream. Yeah, I made it private last week. Huh. That is weird. Huh. I wonder if I said some weird stuff last Friday. But anyway, here I am back, and everything's cool. Let's see. Yeah, Peter. No, today I wore my Nikes. Yeah, last time I was playing, I stepped on my toe a little weird, kind of bent a little bit. Nothing serious, but anyway, I wanted to play with the support of the Nikes today. So, good thing because I played a bunch of games. So I probably, I don't think my feet are ready for all the amount of hours I played games this week. Today on basketball. So yeah, it was just a game time decision. Let's see. Travis just revived a tired bumblebee with some maple syrup. Awesome. It's Saturday. Yeah, for you're out in England, Barlis. You got confused by what day it was on. You were on due to your unusual schedule changing this week. Oh wow! You want to tell us what's going on? Yeah, Peter. I was actually looking that I got an email from Zero Shoes about a summer sale. There were some cool shoes there, off 25% off. They ended up being I didn't get them yet, $70 or so. I was thinking about it. Yeah, Sarah, I was just explaining, your cult leader here is so dumb. When I scheduled the live stream about 3 hours ago, I just reused the settings from last week's 4th of July live stream. Somehow they got set to private. I don't know if I did it after or Angie did it or something. But anyway, I don't remember making that one private. I don't remember anything weird happening. Long story short, I just reused the settings from the most recent live stream, the 4th of July one. And I was wondering why no one made any comments before this one, tonight's live stream. And I noticed that, it's set for private. So I fixed it really quickly. Then I said, screw it, I'm just going to start the live stream right on time and get it going. So yeah, your cult leader just didn't notice that. I tell you, it probably was a combination of not having any recollection of setting last week's live stream to private once it was completed, and pretty tired because I was at the gym. I ended my workout after 2 hours and 45 minutes. Yeah, last week's live stream is private, so that's why it isn't there. If Angie's there, I see Love Spirals. Any idea, Angie, why I or you might have set last week's live stream to private? I don't remember anything really weird happening. It was just 4th of July. I don't remember me complaining about anything or saying anything. You didn't change the settings? Weird. Totally weird, because the live stream was obviously not private. It had a normal viewership last Friday. Somehow, yeah. So yeah, since I wasn't on the lookout for that, so it's not something I look out for because it's never happened before. I've never had a video where God came down from heaven and went into my YouTube and clicked on the settings for a video and changed it from public to private. That's never happened before. So I'm not on the lookout for that. So combine that being a little more fatigued, and it's a combo for, I don't know about failure, but it sucks. But anyway, yeah, that's that. I'll put that in my mental checklist now, things to be on the lookout for when I get my live streams scheduled. Hey, Giovanni, yeah, Yeah, last week was, again, pretty troll-free. I don't know why trolls don't like me anymore, you know? What'd you get from it? From Zero Shoes, Peter? You got a pair of slippers. Slip-on shoes from Zero. Yeah, I was thinking about getting a pair that you could slip on, and you could have the heel down or up, depending on how you wanted it. I was thinking about something like that, but then I had some expenses this week once again. I went to the optometrist. Just, you're supposed to go like every year, maybe 18 months. I hadn't been in like 2 years. So I needed to change everything. My computer reading glasses, they're a little not sharp. And I think when I first got these, I think the distance that we measured them from was like this. And I think I need to see further back. So before I went to the optometrist, I stuck my hand out to see how far from where I sit to where my monitor is. And I told her, yeah, that's about the distance. So we got it right this time. So I got a cool new pair. I went on Wednesday. So I probably won't have them till early next week, but you'll see them next Friday. They cost a lot though, because I have to pay for anti-reflective glare, or else you'll see nothing but my lights here. It'll look crazy. And I upgraded my long distance glasses too, so it's a big hit financially, but I should be set for a few years. But anyway, yeah, I guess I'm not going to get those Zero shoes after all. I was thinking about maybe telling my mom that would be a great birthday gift, Mom, because my birthday's at the end of this month. But I'll tell you, I need some help with my optometry bills. So anyway, let's see. I'm sorry, Varlas, you missed a few live streams. You weren't in the mood to your dad's funeral. Did your house sitting and didn't have any laptop. Oh. Okay, Peter, you got the Dylan slip-ons from Zero. I'm pretty sure that's the one I was looking for too. I'm pretty sure they were the Zeros. I mean the Dylans, the Zero Dylans. Hey, VLAM, greetings to you in Hong Kong. Thanks for joining us, V. Yeah, occasionally Dr. Bear, Dr. Bear will leave a comment, but yeah, I can't get her to come back to the live streams. And Fu, I don't know, I hope he's okay. I'm pretty sure he's okay. He's an interesting dude, so, I could see him just wandering off, and but hopefully he'll want to come back and chill with us. Oh, awesome, cool. You're wearing, VLAM, you're wearing our Happy Healthy Vegan tie-dye shirt to a day trip to Macau, a neighboring city with fam. Awesome. Yeah, I only have a few. I like extra large shirts again. I guess when I was really skinny, back when I was like more high raw, whatever, when we started our channel, the large shirts look kind of cool on me, but now they look kind of weird. So I just like extra large. And yeah, a lot of my Happy Healthy Vegan shirts over the years were from that period. They're large. I only have a few extra large, but I believe the tie-dye still looks pretty good on me because those were they were cut bigger. Oh, Peter, I totally forgot. Angie, are you watching? I totally forgot, Peter. My bad. Your cult leader totally blew it on this one. Angie, Peter said he ordered a shirt off Teespring or whatever it's called, like a month ago. And he's never got it. Yeah, I forgot to tell you about that. I totally forgot last week. I guess you can't blame me too much, Peter. You reminded me last Friday, and as soon as the live stream ended last week on Friday, 8 p.m., is when the fireworks really started ramping up. So I totally forgot anything that happened during the live stream and just kind of focused on the cats, the fireworks and explosions and all that. Cacophony and insanity and anyway, okay, Angie's gonna go log in and see if there's anything she can do. So yeah, thanks for reminding me, Peter. Yeah, your cult leader totally got distracted last week, and yeah, I make mistakes. I forgot to remember that, and I didn't notice that this live stream was set to private until I launched, but that shouldn't be a big deal. A lot of people just go live, what was private just was like the 3 hours I had scheduled it before it launched at 6. So anyway, all good. Hey Heidi, thanks for joining. Yeah, I know, Peter, I make mistakes because I'm vegan. And I have to say, speaking of 4th of July last week, that's why I got distracted, Peter. It wasn't as bad. I was telling you last week, my hope was like the ramp up to 4th of July this year had been a little better than the past, 5 or 6 years of the ramp up, There hadn't been as many explosions and stuff like that. I mean, there still were, but not as many. And yeah, this 4th of July was not as bad as like the past 3, 4, or 5 or so 4th of July's. Last year was like the worst. I go, man, humans have lost it. We're a completely insane species. And anyway, this year was a lot better. Maybe people felt less festive this year. Not sure. Maybe it's the economy. People think, if I blow up $200 worth of crap, it's gone and it's just lighting money on fire, almost literally. Or else I could spend that $200 and get something really cool. Take my girlfriend or my family out to a groovy meal somewhere. So anyway, yeah. Whatever the reasons were, I'll take it this year. It was, again, it wasn't like great, but it just wasn't the hell of the last several years. It really made me completely hate the 4th of July. I mean, I wasn't a big fan before things got bad because it's still the fireworks freak out the cats, but it just got completely out of hand. So, and you guys know it's bad for animals. It's bad for pollutes water, pollutes the air. There's usually air quality warnings around the LA basin for a day or two afterwards. So yeah. Okay, yeah, people are popping off fireworks for a week. Yeah, like last year, people were popping them off like starting in May, and it ramped up into June and culminated in a crazy 4th of July. So I'm glad this year, it wasn't as bad. And anyway, yeah, that's my 4th of July report. Hopefully you guys all had a safe and sane 4th of July. Yeah, we just sat around with the cats, basically. And then the next day to celebrate, Angie and I said, let's go to our favorite new restaurant, the vegan Italian place here in Long Beach. So we had a very delicious, festive meal there. We wanted to check out their margarita pizza, because we didn't get that before. We've been there a few times, only once before for dinner. But yeah, this time we got the margarita pizza, super good. And yeah, shared a little glass of Italian wine from a certain region. The owner guy let us know that they're like the only restaurant in the area that has these specific kinds of Italian wines. And he let us try a few, and yeah, we picked our favorite. So that was really cool of them. Yeah, AJ, you would love it. Seriously. This is like the best Italian vegan restaurant I have ever been to. It's really good. They're really cool people that own it. It's a really good vibe inside and outside too. You can have your pick if you want to sit indoors or outdoors. The food's high quality. They have their own pizza oven there. Really high quality Italian wines that pair well with their specific foods they offer. It's just a first class, vegan experience. And you don't even have to be vegan. I see tons of people there, and I'm pretty sure like most of them aren't vegan. The food is that good. It doesn't matter if you're vegan or not. This is just a delicious culinary experience. Maybe they'll get a Michelin star one day. Who knows? Hey, Bootissimo. There's something inhibiting fireworks this year? Like if it's a law, that wouldn't do it. But if there's something inhibiting it on the supply side, maybe the boats that were smuggling fireworks in got caught, or some warehouses got caught. I knew one blew up in Northern California, killed a bunch of people. Like, I forgot how many, 5 people, something like that. It was crazy. I don't even think I saw they didn't even have the permits to storm there. This is in this big warehouse. There were some homes not that far and farmland not that far, and yeah, a few workers died there. Fireworks suck, I mean, again, just do a drone light show. People typically don't die from a drone show going wrong, or storing drones is not dangerous, but storing fireworks is dangerous. Transporting them is dangerous. Igniting them is dangerous. The fallout from them is dangerous. But anyway, I digress. You guys know I hate fireworks, and they may have been cool like 500 years ago and shit, or 200 years ago. But they're like stupid and useless now, and dangerous, and we have better technology and less damaging, less polluting ways of having lights in the air that make us go, ooh, ah, That's what fireworks are supposed to do. Ooh, ah. You can watch a bitchin' drone show and go, ooh, ah. I remember last time I saw David Gilmour playing Comfortably Numb, Pink Floyd at the Hollywood Bowl, all the lasers going on. I was going, ooh, didn't need fireworks. Just friggin' David Gilmour's jamming Comfortably Numb on a Stratocaster and all the lasers going everywhere. That's all you needed. You don't need explosives. And there are very real fire threats, Sarah. Absolutely. I think it was a day or two after, or it's a couple days after 4th of July out here in Southern California in Laguna Beach. I think it was a 13-year-old was shot up some fireworks in a dry brush hill area and started a fire that almost got some houses. But thanks to the hard work of the firefighters, everyone was safe. All the houses were safe. Heard the kids in trouble. They're trying to go after the parents. I mean, this is just irresponsible to light fireworks off and all this dry brush here, especially on the West Coast. So anyway, yeah. Yeah, Peter, or you can just take some mushrooms and go ooh-ha, I guess, too. But that's, I guess, not... I don't know if that really makes 4th of July happen good or not. They take mushrooms, and you can just do that any day. As I'm saying, it doesn't really, you don't really need to take them on 4th of July. Yeah, AJ, I'm a big proponent of drone light shows, just completely replacing fireworks, Yeah, some people will lose their jobs, firework companies, and firework employees. I'm sorry, it's the way, just like, like typewriter companies and typewriter employees lost their jobs too. Things change, progress happens. And yeah, fireworks should be part of the list of technologies that we don't need anymore. Let's see. Fulmar Music, America is still number one. Somehow number one in what metric? We're not number one as far as like say life expectancy, outcomes from like healthcare and stuff like that. We're the number one when it comes to defense spending, number one when it comes to healthcare spending, but our results put us like in like number 30 or something like that, maybe in the 20s. But anyway, let's see. That's awesome, Sarah. Your local animal sanctuary is having a gala in a couple weeks. AT, a vegan brew pub catered by a vegan food truck. Awesome. I'm glad they're keeping it vegan and not like offering steak and cheese and stuff at an animal sanctuary. It's so frustrating for us vegans to find charities that are trying to help animals and fight for animals and protect animals, yet they're serving unprotected animals on plates. So I'm glad they're consistent with that. It just makes you bang in your head, scratch your head, like, what the F? How can they not see the disconnect there? But that's totally awesome, as AJ says. You'd be surprised, Sarah, when I've seen environmental habitat wildlife groups that, I guess they're on fundraisers. They're trying to get big donors, and I guess they might not impress these donors with vegan meals, so they give them the kind of food that their donors are expecting. But still, you got to be consistent. What's that, Metalhead? 4th and State is a vegan restaurant with non-vegan appeal. I know non-vegans who enjoy it. That's what I say. A good vegan restaurant is just a good restaurant. It just happens to have no animal products. Like, yeah, our Italian place here and our Italian vegan place there. Like I said, I think most of the people there, they don't strike me as vegan. Seem to be like, just regular old people that like that part of Long Beach that live around this neighborhood, or maybe travel a little bit and enjoy good food, and in the morning, good coffee. Let's see, J.R. Eichke, why do I cook with no oil instead of low oil? I think we might use a little oil on some dishes. Like I've mentioned before, like when we make popcorn, which is pretty rare, we'll put a little avocado oil in. I know there's another dish or two where Angie breaks out the avocado oil for the pan or whatever. I forgot what it is, and I know that she does it because our cat Joey goes insane. He loves avocados. He loves avocado oil. So every time she breaks out the avocado oil, Joey loses his mind. So we use oil sometimes. So yeah, I would say we're low oil. We're not no oil, especially when we go out to restaurants and stuff. I don't expect them to be low oil. I'm sure there's oil in that delicious margarita pizza that we had last Saturday, at the Italian vegan place here. But let's see. Yeah, Angie says, yes, I have changed my opinion since we started the show a decade ago. Yeah, we're definitely not high oil or even medium oil vegans, you know? I mean, literally, we can go a week or two, right, Angie, without ever breaking out the oil. Maybe longer, you tell me. Yeah, you started using sesame oil for some Asian dishes and avocado oil when needed for some things. So is that inch herbivore style from our music? Yeah, cool. Yeah, we're just low oil, but we don't really have a fear of oil. I don't believe like some vegans try to say, or some plant-based people try to say, like if you eat oil, it's going to kill you. It's going to give you heart disease and break the endothelial things on your cells or whatever. No, I don't subscribe to that sort of thing. I just don't like oily food, you know. So if I go to Panda Express and bring some food home, yeah, I'll enjoy it, but it's oily. I'm eating the chow mein like, wow, this is oily, but I wish it was a lower oil chow mein. Again, not because I think it's going to kill me, but I just don't like that. I don't like the feeling afterwards. Man, I feel like Jabba the Hutt right now, man. I ate so much oily stuff. I'm just going to lay here and speak a bunch of gibberish like Jabba. Let's see, Sarah, no oil in her house, but some squeaks. Yeah, some squeaks in there if you eat out. Again, and it's not a tragedy. You know, you don't have to like do a deep cleanse or fast or something like that. Not to say you do. I'm just saying anyone. You don't have to. It's not going to kill you. You know. Hey, Johnny, you have to have oil in your food. You always eat olive oil in your rice and pasta when you have it. See, not a big deal. Yeah, I should look at the ingredients. Yeah, our store-bought pasta sauce, I'm sure it's got some olive oil or something like that. I mean, we don't eat pasta all the time, but yeah, I totally get it. Let's see. Angie says, yeah, both of her cookbooks, the Happy Healthy Vegan Cookbook and Keep It Carb Baby, are oil-free. But in the last years, relax on that. Again, it's not like we swung the other way to high oil. I don't think we ever will, because Angie and I both share that preference of we don't like heavy oil foods. It makes us feel weird. But a little light oil on the pan can help, you know, with some of the Asian dishes she makes. And the avocado oil helps on a few things. Again, it's not like pouring it on like, you know, how Jimmy Oliver used to just put in like half a bottle of olive oil. You know, it's nothing like that. Johnny, no, I'm talking about even just like some Johnny, like, do you have Panda Express near you? If you do, go get some Panda Express. Get their chow mein. It's vegan, by the way. There's no animal products, and just eat it. You'll see what I'm talking about. Just take one bite. It'll taste this wet thing. It's just oil. You know, I just don't like that. I don't like my food to be all oily like that. And after you eat the whole thing, it's like, wow, you know. I mean, I could eat a ton of food here. Like, say tonight, we're probably going to make the Tuscan kale pilaf. I tell you, we make that about once a week. It's probably the same volume of food as I'll eat if I get some Panda Express takeout, but I feel like way less lethargic after our food as opposed to the heavy, oily takeout food. So, yeah, good question to ask, though, Johnny. Yeah, trying to keep variables the same there. Mutisimo, you use small amounts of olive oil. We haven't used olive oil in a long time. I remember one of the challenges we've had with olive oil, and I bet a lot of you guys have had too. I remember it goes bad kind of quickly compared to other oils. Like, I never remember our avocado oils ever going rancid. I'm sure they can, but it probably takes a lot longer. I'm sure Angie could back me up with that. So that's one plus of avocado oil. Yeah, Angie raises a good point. Yeah, she knows. I met with a vegan. She's actually a vegan, not just plant-based, but a vegan cardiologist. And yeah, I met with her about 4 or so times. You know, had labs done, got a calcium heart scan, got a ultrasound on the heart. I forgot what that was called. There's a certain name for that. A bunch of stuff, a bunch of labs done, and yeah, she advised me that the science says, yeah, it's okay to actually eat oil. She actually recommended I could eat more oil, but I just told her I'm just not a big fan of oil. But yeah, I have the green light to have more oil in my diet. But the bottom line is, I don't think our preference is going to change. We just don't like a bunch of oil. Yeah, oils go rancid for sure. Let's see, even Paula Hinch Herbivore has oil now, but only olive oil and never cooked, and in his salad. See, yeah, there's actually, from what I understand, no science showing that like olive oil or any plant oil is going to like cause your heart disease, anything like that. That was like the fear that a lot of people had, that it's going to like give you a heart disease. And she said, no, the science shows actually a lot of the plant oils, if I remember, don't quote me on this, I'm not a scientist, I didn't follow up on it. She said I could just have like a little shot of canola oil right now, and my bad cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, would take a certain hit just from having oil, so if it's lowering your LDL, that's the effect you're looking for. You want your LDL numbers to be as low as possible. Unless you're a carnivore, then you think, wow, my LDL is like 300 and my doctor is really concerned. And then you post on the internet and tell people that, and you say, my doctor is stupid. He's never heard of the carnivore diet. She's never heard of the carnivore diet. They should know LDL cholesterol and ApoB have nothing to do with heart disease, because I know better. I saw a shirtless influencer in the jungle tell me so. So anyway, okay, so you guys are talking about salt now. You have a friend, JRH guy, who's anti-salt. She cooks with no salt unless she is cooking for someone who eats it. Yeah, Angie did go with me on my last meeting to my vegan cardiologist. I went with him once so we could talk about his diet with her. Yeah, so I'm glad you remembered that conversation. It's funny though. She's sweet. She's cool. She's really nice. My vegan cardiologist. But man, the food she was eating is like, it's just weird. It's like, kind of reminded me almost like a fruitarian. It's like drinking all these weird liquids and juices and stuff like that. It's like, I don't know if that's cool. That works for you. Anyway. Let's see, Varlis, you're talking to Johnny there. Yeah, we have a lot of people, obese, a lot of disabled cards. Yeah, there's a lot of that in the United States. And I understand it's not as prevalent in Europe, right? Is that correct? Let's see, as far as using oil and stuff, Angie says that she was using only water for stir fries for ages, but it really does taste more authentic with a bit of sesame oil. So yeah, there you go. More authentic, Asian dishes. And Asians are known for not really, having the same levels of obesity and heart disease as the United States people have. I think they're catching up, but I'm just saying, a traditional Asian diet, which most Asians are going away from, unfortunately, it tends to have, better health results than the, say, standard American diet. Huh, Johnny, never got the feeling of fatigue from consuming oily foods. I guess it's relative, Johnny. Like, when I'm eating how we normally eat, like low, no oil, I feel a certain way generally. I mean, it varies from food to food, meal to meal, that kind of thing. But I notice when I have the oily stuff, I really notice it. It really has an effect. First, I don't like that texture on my lips of all the moisture or whatever of the oil, but the thing that bugs me most is this feeling it afterwards, just feeling, wow, I feel totally jobbed out today. Oh, thank you, AJ. Your vegan cult leader appreciates his number one vegan cult member for leaving a cult duty, a cult tip. What'd you call it? Weekly cult dues. So thank you so much, AJ. Much appreciated. I will put it into my optometry bill. It's going to be kind of big because I'm getting 2 pairs of glasses, and the insurance really is only helping with one set. It's not paying for the whole thing, but that'll be cool. I finally will have some glasses next week that'll look kind of like my regular glasses. These glasses that you guys all know me by, I only wear them at special times. Special times meaning when I'm sitting here basically on a computer, which I'm doing right now. I mean, sometimes I'll wear them outside in another room if I'm on a laptop, but these are my computer glasses, and they don't look as cool as my everyday glasses when I just go walking around. So you'll see my glasses next week will look a lot like my everyday glasses. So anyway, I'll just let you know, this will be the last time you see these suckers, hopefully. Sarah says she doesn't like how her house smells if there's heated sesame oil, though. Maybe it might take a lot, because I'm thinking in our kitchen at least, when Angie uses sesame seed oil, I don't really notice it, I know what you're saying, but yeah, maybe Angie cooks or uses such minuscule amounts of the oil, it doesn't really like make much of a difference. Yeah, I was talking about how my vegan cardiologist, all her weird juices and protein thingies she's got. Yeah, She's fruitarian thin too. Yeah, she's super like low body mass index. But that's her thing. She wants to be like this really, I don't know, looks like a model kind of doctor, and it's working out for her. She's doing quite well, like social media and her practice and everything. Let's see. Angie says, yeah, the smell of oil really does hang in the air. Yeah. But I tell you, when Angie cooks with that, I really don't notice it much. I assume she's using some pretty sane, minuscule amounts. Johnny, you're just glad you're in a career where you're required to be in excellent shape, especially in a combat unit where you absolutely have to be in amazing shape. How is that? I'm just curious, Johnny. How is that required? Is it possible for someone with your job, someone in your troop, or I don't know, I'm sure what it's called, your group there, where you like one guy's not doing all the extra work that you're doing all this running, you're doing all this lifting, like I assume off the clock on your own time, on your own bill maybe. What if a guy said, I'm just going to watch the football every Sunday and I'm just going to sit on the couch and drink beer and eat chips and stuff. I'm not going to go to the gym with Johnny anymore. Could someone like get out of shape and still have the job? They'll just be kind of like the worst fit one. How does that work? I'm just kind of curious because you said your job requires you to. I'm just really curious. Let's see. Fulmar Music, you took some modafinil a few hours ago to help lose weight. Now you're completely wired at 3 a.m. Yeah, isn't that the narcolepsy drug that that guy I made a video about a couple weeks ago, the butter coffee guy, David Asprey? Not Aspie, not the vegan dude, but the butter coffee guy, I remember when I first heard of him about 10 years ago, he was talking about doing modafinil because he thought he could biohack and sleep. I thought his argument was like this: when you're sleeping, you're not getting jack crap done. I'm some like entrepreneur. I want to work all the time, so I take modafinil and butter coffee. I can get 10 times more work done than a crappy vegan like Ryan. Anyway, but he didn't look like the modafinil was like doing good for him. It just looked like it was making him look really like just like only getting like 3 hours of sleep didn't look like it was making his life like he wasn't glowing, let's say. Cool. Thanks Angie for being with us. If you're still here, thanks for chilling with us all here. Yeah, whatever happened to that vegan guy, James Asprey? I get the names mixed up. David Aspie and James Asprey are totally different. I don't know. I kind of lost track of him. Or Aspie. I think it's James Aspie and David Asprey. I kind of lost track of him. I remember a while ago he was saying he needed all this money and had this weird crypto scheme going on, and I don't kind of lost track. Is he even vegan still? I don't know. I don't follow him. Let me know if you guys know what's up with that. Okay, so Johnny answered my question. Could you be the unfit guy in your army troop there? So that's very common, but you'd have a difficult time, like failing fitness tests and so on, which can lead you to getting kicked out. So would you get fired, Johnny? Or you just be moved over to a different part of the military that doesn't require you to have the same like almost elite extreme level of fitness that you have? There's got to be some other army people that don't do what you do and do other things, not like a desk job, but other forms of combat that don't involve being like elite fitness people. Let me know. I'm just really curious. Heidi, you like that James Aspie guy, the vegan one, at some point? He's a homophobe? Really? Wow. He seems to have fallen off the radar. Okay. Peter says, I think he's still vegan, but he's a jerk. He goes to vegan events and does 5-second speeches and expects hundreds of thousands of dollars. I remember him saying he needed to raise all this money and people were donating all this money to him. And then he said he invested that money into crypto or something like that. And I know I heard a lot of the donators some are cool, and others are going, what the fuck? I gave you like my hard-earned money because you said you need to raise all this money for your activism. Then you put it into some kind of like shit coin, some weird coins that have low value and are highly speculative. Like all cryptos like that, but shit coins are a whole nother level of risk. Yeah, he's the guy that didn't speak for a year. So you would think that someone didn't speak for a year was like totally on the up and up and dedicated, almost like a saint or something, right? But yeah, when I saw him doing that word crypto thing, I didn't really follow much, but I think it was Foot Soldier remember him, Vegan Foot Soldier? I was watching his videos showing what was going on there. I go, whoa. Let's see, Fillmore Music says he tried becoming a vegetarian for a week on an experimental basis after having been told by an Indian traveler that eating animals is bad karma. Well, was that before going vegan? I thought maybe he went from vegan to trying vegetarian. But that's cool if that's how he got into it. He liked it more when he didn't speak Yeah, I noticed age. I didn't want to bring this up. I don't like talking about appearances much, as you know. It's kind of ad hominem to talk about people's appearances. But I remember seeing him and his wife or girlfriend. All these pictures I saw of them for a while on their social media were like, shirtless influencers. I was shirtless, look at me and my ripped whatever, and then her, look at my bikini body. And that's cool. I'm not saying it's bad to work on your physique, but it seemed like that was like the thing, like, I'm saying, it's like, look at me, the shirtless influencer type. It's like, if what you're saying is true, you don't need to do that. I mean, if you want, if that makes you happy, I'm not bagging. Everyone has the freedom to do that sort of thing, but it is a little kind of weird and cringe from my perspective. But I'm just some weird old Gen X dude, Everyone's free to have their unique opinions on that subject matter. Yeah, Sarah said, yeah, don't look at me. But everyone, hey, look at me. It's like, hey, let's save the animals. But, you really want to look at my biceps, though, right? And look at me. Let's save the animals. But look at this great bikini. I just don't understand how that helps with vegan activism. I mean, I'm sure some arguments can be made, but, the same argument can be made for anyone. You could, hey, look at me in my bikini, buddy. I'm carnivore. Look at my muscles. I'm carnivore. It doesn't prove anything, But that's cool. I'm glad we have the muscled people, like, say Brian Turner, stuff like that, Nimai and Patrick Baboomian. I'm glad they exist. I think they're awesome. Don't get me wrong. I think they're I've met Brian many times. I think he's an awesome dude. I wish I could hang out with Brian Turner more. Like, totally cool guy. Another person, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I don't think you'll ever see Brian Turner making a "Why I'm No Longer Vegan" video. Yeah, sir. I know you love Nimai. Nimai. Every time I mention Nimai, it's cool. I've met him a few times too, and he seems like a nice young gentleman. Let's see, Samuel's take on James, James, is that he's just in our group to get the money. Quite possible. And when I saw that crypto scheme, and Foot Soldier was showing how it's like a rug pull crypto scheme, it's like, wow, that's not cool. Assuming what Foot Soldier showed, his video was true, the information, I have every reason to believe it. I've never seen him make a misinformation video. Yeah, and Derek Simnett too. Yeah, Simnett Nutrition. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I've never met him, but I've seen him come on our comments a few times. He's popped on the live stream a few times. Again, seems like a really nice dude. I'm not bagging on all people that use their their fitness thing, to promote veganism, but some people do it, I think, in a right way, like all these guys and gals I've mentioned. And there's certain people I do it in a way that just kind of make me cringe. But that, again, these are just my reactions. Yours can be different. But I think there's a right way to do it. And Derek, Brian Turner, I've never cringed at their content. When they're being like, the bodybuilder type. What Peter James Aspie thought that the richer he is, the more people he convinced to be vegan. Are you serious, Peter? Are you truly representing something he has said before? Because if so, wow, are you kidding me? Let me know if you have. You don't have to show me, but let me know, Peter, if what you say there you believe is solid and truthful, and you can, there's support for that. Again, you don't have to show it to me. I'll take your word for it because I trust you because you're my moderator. Oh yeah, Hinge Herbivore too. Yeah, we're just talking about him too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these guys, are cool. They don't do it in a way that kind of makes me cringe. Okay, Johnny's answer my question. Can you be an unfit military dude but not get fired if you don't keep your elite fitness up? Yeah, they could either get moved into doing something else or getting kicked out of the military completely. Usually it's getting kicked out from your experience. Wow, so you have to stay really fit or else they're going to kick you out? Wow. Okay, Peter, you are dead serious that you really believe that, hey, the wealthier I become, the more millionaire or billionaire I can become, the more I can convince people to be vegan. Like, wow. I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, to be charitable, there is something to be said for that. I guess if you're super wealthy, you can just spend your money on marketing, making go vegan stickers and contribute to politicians and organizations that support, animal rights. There's things you can do with your money. Is that what he was going to do to try to influence through lobbying and politics? Or is it just, hey, look at that guy, he's super rich, he can't be full of shit. If he's super rich and he's vegan must be the way to go because I want to be like that. Was that his thought? That's weird. Wow, you'll never hear me promoting a message like that. All right, Peter said 100% serious as mentioned by Cranky Vegan. Okay, yeah, VLAMs kind of said something like what I said. The richer you are, the more impact you can have. Exactly. You can make all sorts of donations and contributions. But I don't think that's what I'm just guessing. The way Peter phrased it there, it's just by virtue of being rich, people will be attracted to your veganism and want to be vegan themselves. That's as wacky and zany, and it doesn't follow whatsoever. But yeah, what V mentions there, yeah, if you have wealth and power, you can use that for vegan things, vegan activism, promoting veganism. Yeah, Johnny, so if you became a billionaire, would it convince people to switch diets? I would say no way in hell. It's like when, let's just say, Elon Musk or Bill Gates went vegan or something like that. Do you think their followers would, in any significant proportions, percentages, go vegan? A few weirdos, the fanboys and stuff might, but I don't think so. Maybe Elon might be more so because I know his fanboys are really more, they worship him more like a god. If he goes vegan, they might go vegan too to a certain extent. Who knows? But the thing is, James already had his fanboys and followers and stuff like that. I don't think new people would say, oh, look at that rich guy, assuming he ever got rich or whatever. I'm going to go vegan because he's rich. Because you can find all these rich non-vegans, like super billionaires, that are not vegan. It doesn't make any sense to me. Let's see, VLAM, you're iffy about the whole EA movement. Wonder if anyone read Robert Sheik's book, The Impactful Vegan. Yeah, I think I got it. Let's see. I had it here. He sent it to us when it came out. I didn't read too much about it. I just kind of got the gist of it. Yeah, Timothy. Yeah, for sure. Hey, Timothy. Yeah, billionaire, or even a multi-millionaire. Like, billions, a lot of money. Even if you have hundreds, just a mere $100 million, can keep vegan restaurants open. Even if they take losses, they can open farms and sanctuaries. So there's good that can be done. This is kind of funny though. Hey, make me rich first, And then, you trust me, I'll help the animals, but you got to get me rich first. That's the part that I just, maybe it's just me. Again, a lot of things, I'm saying are just my feelings. I have a hard time trusting people when it comes to stuff like that, I just don't automatically grant trust to a person. It has to be earned. You went vegan from heavy metal music. Awesome. I didn't know that. You learned about veganism and decided to try it after a year and a half vegetarian. Awesome. Hey, Graven's here. Let's see what Graven was talking about. I see AJ talking to you. Let's see. I know you guys are talking about the Everglades there. Does Elon still have fans? Oh, yeah, totally. He's got his fans. Trust me, if I were to make a video today complaining about Elon and his Neuralink testing on animals and shit, I'm going to get a bunch. I know for sure, $100 bet with any of you guys, I'm going to get some Elon fanboys or girls. Usually it's dudes, though. Come in and typing in, the Neuralink is going to save millions of people's lives. It's going to help people with all these disabilities. I'm going, yeah, I know. That's what it says. If you go to the website and read their marketing speak shit there, yeah, it says that. But that's such a small market share there, like helping people with disabilities. They're not altruistic. They're going after, they want to put these chips in like the masses of humanity. It's like, say this, like say Beyond Burgers and Impossible Burgers. Their target market isn't just the tiny fraction of people that are vegan like us. We're like just a few percent of the population. They want everyone to eat them. The same thing with the Neuralink. They're not just going after people with disabilities, even though they say that we're making the world a better place by giving people with disabilities the capability to communicate at digital age in ways never before. Yeah, they say that because they want to sound good and like they're making the world a better place. That's the pitch. That's the kind of a joke. If you ever watch the show Silicon Valley, it's just a running joke. That's pretty much like the line that every startup tech company gives when they're doing a pitch, when they're like talking to venture capitalists or whatever, or just, we're making the world a better place. But, they're just trying to make a lot of money when you get down to it. And that's how business works. I agree with you 100%, Graven. Billionaires should not exist. I mean, if you have like $800 million, you're going to be fine. That's enough wealth for you and all your family for eternity. You don't need to have $1 billion or $100 billion. Yeah, just having a few million or $100 million is insane and should be sufficient. Remember Bob Hill? Remember that freak? He was here defending billionaires. I don't understand. Why do people who are assumingly but poor, make nowhere near like say $100,000 a year even, support billionaires? It's like, the poor billionaires, they need our help. They need our support. No. They don't give a shit about you. Why are you so concerned about the welfare of billionaires? They didn't give a crap about the welfare of animals, but billionaires, though, they're special people and they need all our love and support. We got to massage them and make them feel good because they're so awesome. But anyway, let's see what you guys talk. So about my rant about billionaires, but when Graven said billionaires should not exist, I had to give you my thoughts there. Samuel says, I wonder if we are as dumb as meat eaters. James is probably laughing at us. Hey, there's like people who fall victim to a scam. I'm not saying his thing's a scam there, but I'm just saying vegans are just as likely because we're just a cross section of humanity. We're no more necessarily more intelligent or less intelligent or anything. So let's say a certain percentage of just people in general will fall prey to scams. Well, that would apply to vegans and non-vegans. So I don't think it has anything with us being dumb or anything like that. Just how percentages work. Yeah, VLAM, the existence of all these billionaires, like mega billionaires, ones that have like $100 billion, what the hell? It's evidence that the current system is not functioning. Let's see. Yeah, it's talking about billionaires that are ethical vegans. Steve Wynn. Yeah, the casino dude. The casino billionaire is a health-based, plant-based vegan. I don't think he's a plant-based for ethics. What? That's fine. I'll take that. That makes the world a better place. He has put his money where his mouth is, so to speak. Because when we went to the Wynn Hotel about It's like a couple years before COVID, maybe like 2018 or something like that. We had an awesome time because first they upgraded our room for free. I guess we went at a non-busy time. Beautiful view. We made a vlog about it, but all the restaurants there have great vegan options. So we never even left the Wynn. There's like 2 compounds. There's like 2 hotels. There's the Wynn and some other thing. I forgot, connected by a little strip mall thing. Anyway, it was all good, man. We had that great dinner at Sinatra. There's the Asian restaurant there. Great vegan options, vegan wines. We checked Barnivore. It was an awesome time. And we didn't even have time to go to the morning buffet. We ate at a restaurant and had one of the best vegan breakfasts of our lives. Angie and I still talk about how awesome that was. We want to go back. So thank God. Whatever, if he's ethical vegan or just plant-based, thank you, Steve Wynn, for having all us vegans covered. In fact, Las Vegas is, I don't know if it's still like this. I haven't been for like 6 years maybe, but it's, it was living up to one of the best vegan towns I've seen. A lot of great restaurants and options. Let's see. VLAMP says, has anyone heard that some fungi may not be vegan? Allegedly, worms are used in the production process. I don't even really eat that. Just have regular old little white or brown mushrooms or some shiitakes or something like that. Okay, wow, Sarah, you actually know a billionaire? How come you're so cool, you're so connected. Damn. The billionaire isn't a vegan, but he was asking you about it the other day, wanted to know why you are, etc. It was a good talk. Wow, you've actually sat down and talked to a billionaire and spoke to the billionaire about veganism? Wow, that blows my mind. Nizio, I seem happy and healthy? Yeah, I mean, my happiness varies depending on what kind of shit's going on in my life or in the world, just like any normal, mentally healthy human being. And I'm pretty healthy considering I'm 58 and I have good blood labs and athleticism. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good, Nizio. Thank you. It doesn't bother you, Johnny? It doesn't have to be bothered, but it bothers some of us that some people are allowed to make so much money and find ways, the ultra wealthy, at least in the United States, find ways to pretty much not pay any taxes on it. I'm going, okay, at least if you're going to be a freaking billionaire, pay your fair share of taxes. It's not like you're going to have a shittier life. If you have $1 billion, that's like, that's one more than $999 million. Just pay some taxes. Like, what's going to happen? You have to cut back on your spending or something. Just pay your freaking taxes at least. Exactly, Fallen Mares. At least that's the very least. Just pay. That's why a lot of us resent billionaires. They've accumulated so much wealth and they have the means to shelter their money offshore and use all these tax breaks that only the wealthiest people can pull off, so they don't have to pay their freaking taxes. Like, how? It's just greed. It's that extreme greed and not giving a shit about other people that really just irks a lot of us. That's why we're bothered by a lot of billionaires. Are they all like that? I don't know, but we see this happen time and time again. Okay, so the billionaire is just a cute little old man in your gym. He inspires you with all his energy. Okay, awesome. Thanks for letting me know that. How did you know he was a billionaire? Oh, you looked him up. You would have never known the dude was a billionaire, but you looked him up. Interesting. I was wondering, hey, you're cool at the gym. What do you do? Oh, I'm a billionaire. Just wondering how that comes up in conversation. Let's see. Billionaires pay the majority of us taxes and create jobs. Well, no, Heidi, that's not necessarily true. That's a myth. If you are a billionaire, there is nothing that necessitates you to go out and create jobs. Put it like this. If anyone with a calculator here could figure out for me, if you say you just had $1 billion, I could go do it right now. And say you just put it in a high yield savings account. You're not even doing the stock market. Hey Siri, what is 3.5% of $1 billion? Okay, $35 million a year. You're just in the safest crappiest kind of investment. You know, you could earn way more than that in the stock market, earning like 10% a year. So just by doing nothing, you make $35 million a year. You don't have to work for the rest of your life. You're not forced to create jobs. No one necessitates a billionaire. It's like if you're a billionaire, you have a moral imperative to go out and do good with that money, create jobs and all this stuff. No, you just sit back, eat bonbons all day and drink wine all day and collect $35 million doing nothing. So I'm not saying all billionaires do that, but there's no need to go out and do anything. Like I said, if you want to you know, just put it in the stock market. Hey, what is 10% of 1 billion? Okay, that's $100 million. So if you put that into something that returns like kind of a rough historical average, it's roughly like 10%. You know, some years you might make 20, 30%. Other years you might lose a few percent, but in the long run, roughly 10%. That's $100 million. $100 million, not even having to work. And sure, some of that will get taxed. This money will get taxed as not income, but capital gains, which has a slightly more favorable tax structure, as a lot of you guys, older people might know. You kids probably don't know this is the difference between this stuff. So yeah, it gets taxed. Capital gains gets taxed at a lower rate than income does. You know, so you know, like by the order of like 10, 15%, depending on your brackets and stuff. So yeah, I mean, that's cool. Some billionaires create jobs, and others just sit around and live off their wealth. You know. So no, don't praise billionaires for doing things. I know people that create jobs here, like the Italian vegan restaurant I went to. They're not billionaires. I doubt they're millionaires, and they're creating jobs. They have all these employees working for them. It's you know, these are the people that are really making, you know, our economy work. You know, don't rely on billionaires to solve our problems. I can't recall the last time I said, yep, that one got handled by a billionaire. VLAN points out, it's not even just about taxes. It's all the externalized costs they imposed on all of us and the livable planet. Let me check something really quick here. Amount of taxes. Okay, here's an interesting little bit here. I was looking at some taxes that Elon Musk has paid right here. ProPublica investigation found that Musk paid about $455 million in federal taxes during this 4-year period. That sounds like a lot of money, and it is. Despite his wealth having grown by $14 billion, this translates to an average tax rate of 3.27%. I pay a higher tax rate than 3.27%, you know, over those 5 years. In 2018, he reportedly paid no federal income taxes. And this is, again, some rich workaround that's partly attributed to receiving no salary from Tesla and borrowing against his assets. This is stuff, watch videos on this. I can't even explain this. There's ways that you can not pay taxes by like doing this kind of borrowing against your assets and kind of thing. But I'm just pointing out, billionaires find ways to like get taxed at rates that, like, you know, people like me, I pay higher tax rates. So I just picked him as a rough example there. So again, we don't need to give any love and try to defend the great billionaires. Again, if they paid their fair share of taxes, I would do a lot less complaining about billionaires. I would still bitch a little bit, but I wouldn't have, you know, I'd be chiller. Oh, Uncle Walt just texted me, said, I'm having dinner with Myra right now. Might be online with you later. Awesome, Walt. I don't think he's watching, but if you are, have a nice day with Myra. Awesome. David Vegan, brings up a good point. Also, like, wealthy people, not just billionaires, create exploitative jobs that poor people have no choice but to endure. Like Amazon, owned by multi-billionaire Jeff Bezos. Like Amazon, having employees dropping dead on the floor, wearing diapers because they can't go to the bathroom. We're talking about the fulfillment center people. Billionaires, they say it could solve world hunger, homelessness, but no, decide to hang on to that. So again, are billionaires inherently evil? I don't know, but I don't see all the great things that they're supposedly doing. And again, paying a 3.2% tax rate is crazy. Making $14 billion and only paying 3.2% of that in taxes. That's what I'm saying. Pay your fair share, and some people would probably back off on the hostility towards the existence of billionaires. Yeah, I'm with you, Sarah. I honestly, I'm not saying this facetiously. I am speaking sincerely as I possibly can here. I would truly love to see a billionaire solve something major, like homelessness or something, just solve a major problem. Heidi, he's already chipped in millions of dollars. Let's see. Well, yeah, he said he paid $455 million. Are you defending this, Heidi, that Elon Musk only paid a 3% tax rate despite having earned $14 billion in that time period? I mean, it sounds like you're trying to justify, it's okay, he paid taxes. Yes, he paid money, but he paid at a lower rate than like a janitor typically makes, or me. This is the part that a lot of us don't find fair. That's all we're asking for. For starters, just fairness. Why does Elon Musk, who paid a lot of money, sure, I'll probably never pay $455 million in taxes in this lifetime because I'll probably never earn $14 billion. I'm just saying, why are they able to work it, do all these workarounds and shuffle the money around and have all these tax breaks where they pay a 3% tax rate? That's what we're complaining about. So I'm not sure why you're trying to defend that he has the wealth to do all this shit that we can't do, to pay a 3% tax rate. If the guy really loved America and everything, pay your taxes, help us fund stuff, pay for healthcare and roads and stuff like that. Why are you trying to shelter the money? Yeah, he's paying more than us, Heidi. Like I said, you're confusing percentage with actual amount. I will never pay $455 million in taxes. I will never be that wealthy. He's paid $455 million in taxes, but we compare that to the income. He has a tax rate of 3.27%. Do you understand that distinction, Heidi? His tax rate is 3.27%. I'm like in the, 10-20% tax, but I forgot. I gotta look. I don't pay 3.27%. Why do billionaires get to have their tax rate go down to this laughable number? Yeah, I agree. He paid a lot of money when it comes to actual dollars. He paid not a lot of money when it comes to percentage. Do we understand that? Okay, awesome. I'm sorry. I guess I shouldn't talk about Elon Musk. He gets me a little pissed off. I know, but that's the point I hear a lot, Hyde. I hear people say, well, he does pay taxes. Yeah, I'm not denying he hasn't paid taxes, but he paid 3%. Who here, raise your hand, type 1 into the comments if you're in the 3% tax bracket. None of us are. Hey, D Rabbit White, how's it going? He said, sorry you're late. I was listening to an excellent interview on our Henhouse channel with an associate professor in philosophy who wrote a book called The Omnivore's Deception. Recommend. Well, give us a brief synopsis of that, if you can, D Rabbit White. Like, what's the main gist of that? It sounds interesting. I like that. Oh yeah, I remember there was this offer for Elon to solve hunger. This is literal. It's like a challenge, and they said, "Here's how much you would need." And I think it's because he said, "I would solve hunger if I thought I could." And someone said, "Here's the plan. Here's how much money you'd need. Here's what it would take to do it." And I forgot how it all worked out technically, but I remember just the basic outline. He just flat out just, "Nah, not gonna do it." You know. Kay Farnan, I wish I could stop paying federal taxes, but I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to have an audit. I don't want to pay back fines or maybe even go to jail or something like that. So yeah, I just pay my taxes, you know. Fortunately for me, I'm not wealthy, so this doesn't amount to a huge amount of money or anything, you know. I guess the U.S. military could buy, what could they buy with my money? Maybe some aspirin for a troop or two or something. I don't know. Yeah, you pay taxes regardless, and you can rely on taxpayers while you can't work. Yeah. Okay, D. Rabbit White, about that book. We need, this is not your opinion. This is from that book you're telling us about. We need to return to the wealth tax from the 50s and 60s. Yeah, wealthier people paid a lot more income taxes prior to like the 70s. Yeah. Which 90 to 95% for every dollar over a specific amount. And these days, 80% on every dollar over 4 million. Need to go off grid? That could be an option. Yeah, the taxman will unfortunately find out, as Graven points out. I'm with you. If I could not pay federal taxes right now, yeah, sign me up. But I don't want to, there's consequences to actions, and those are consequences I really don't want to go down. Yeah, Ali, that's what I'm saying. Lower and middle class people pay higher percentages of taxes than like Elon Musk with this 3.27% tax bracket there. Exactly. Fed taxes can help you. They can help you in the form of like, say, like, affordable care insurance, Medicare, Medicaid, stuff like that. I don't even know if the capital gains tax rates, Ali's, will really yeah, sure, it'll help. But what I'm saying is the ultra wealthy find ways. There are ways. I've seen this explained. I can't communicate it all, dude, because I barely comprehend it. You need to have, a lot of money to have the kinds of financial advisors that do all these tricks for you. But there are ways to effectively, lower your tax bracket down to like 3% like Elon did there, yeah, it'll help. Yeah, sure. I especially on the richest. I don't know why like capital gains are for the wealthiest people, they're it's so much lower than like income tax brackets. Yeah, there are crafty accountants out there, and usually only like the most wealthy people can fully use these highest end accountants that take care of these like wealthiest people so they can pull off these schemes, for lack of a better term, to effectively pay little to no taxes. Again, why? If you're that rich, you should be grateful. Like, thank God, I'm just speaking like a hypothetical billionaire that doesn't exist. But like every day I wake up and praise God and thank nature or whatever that I'm fortunate enough to do business in the United States. I rose up to become a billionaire, and this land is so wonderful, and I want to do my fair share and pay the taxes that I really ought to be paying as part of my contract with society. It brought me up. I'm going to pay my fair share of taxes to society because this is where we live. I don't understand why that's such a no. No, we can't do that. Anyway, Yeah, T. Jones. Yeah, I've talked about it many times. Unfortunately, our tax money goes to some shitty things like supporting animal agriculture, subsidies for animal products, trying to make meat and cheese cheaper, pay for the marketing of meat and cheese and stuff. That's why you see all these like commercials, advertising like cheese and new cheese products like cheesy crust in the pizza crust. Like, why do you need cheesy crust? There's already cheese on the pizza. It's just, this is the dairy board's money, our taxpayer money being used to promote and subsidize animal products. Okay, back to that book there. Why the omnivore's dilemma is actually an omnivore's deception, the psychological concept of bad faith and how it applies to our relationship with animals. Historical connections between animal domestication and human oppression, the troubling trend of framing animal agriculture as feminist empowerment, how Martin Buber's I Thou philosophy offers, I don't know who that philosopher is, offers a path towards more compassionate relationship with animals. Well, that sounds like a great read. I'll have to dig that up. Yeah, Fulmar, I believe, yeah, I agree with you. $30 million is super rich. You're set for life, Yeah, it should, yeah, I agree totally. Fulmar Music, you live in a food desert, really? Ali, you're probably talking about that little thought experiment I did there, my little dialogue. If billionaires thought like that, they might not be billionaires. They still would be billionaires. Yeah, AJ, I know. I wish I didn't have to pay income taxes right now. Not just out of greed, but just out of what it's going to right now. That's cool, Graven. The only wealthy person you respect is Dolly Parton. She isn't a complete leech, and she helps people, real people. I agree. Everything I've seen from Dolly Parton makes me agree with what you're saying there. Okay, D Rabbit, that whole thing you're telling us about there, the omnivores dilemma, is that what it's called? It's on YouTube on Our Hen House. So thanks for sharing that with us. I'll try to look up that author and everything. That sounds really interesting. Right up my alley of philosophy and ethics and veganism, vegan ethics. Yeah, Dolly rocks. Okay, now that we've established billionaires aren't exactly necessarily the greatest people in the world, we can move on. I'm sure there's a few billionaires out there, maybe 1 or 2%, maybe, that don't do all these tax evasion or schemes, to hide their wealth and pay their fair share. I just don't think there's too many of them that do that. But I'm not going to go out and say every last single billionaire does that. But I do know that what I described there is a common trick or tactic or whatever. Let's see. Yeah, Sarah, I think me screwing up the thumbnail or the scheduling of this live stream had an effect. Yeah, I've never done that. I mean, I've always let it soak, as I call it, just put it out there for a few hours. Schedule like 2, 3, 4 hours before I go live. But yeah, I just made it go live instantly tonight because I screwed up by making this. I was saying at the beginning of this live stream, I accidentally, when I scheduled this live stream for tonight 3 hours ago. I start at 6 p.m. I put it up about 3. I inadvertently had it set to private, which me or Angie have no idea why that is, because all I did was copy the settings from last week's live stream, which I do pretty much every week, and I don't remember making last week's live stream private after the fact, so it just blew my mind that I saw private. I go, that's why no one's coming ahead of time to make a little comment, as some of you guys do often. So I said, oh shit, and just switched it to public and just went live right away. I just noticed it a few minutes before 6. But anyway, aloha, Milo. Good to see you. You haven't had trash pickup for 2 weeks, Heidi? That sounds like a breakdown of society almost. Like, wow, is it just sitting out on the streets getting piled up and stinky? Yeah, Sarah. I didn't when I changed tonight's live stream from private to public. Yeah, I made that happen, but I didn't go back and fix last week's live stream. I'll check it out later. I'll just do it after this live stream. So I just want to come on and go live. I'll fix the old problem later. It's an old problem. Not too many people are trying to dig up the 4th of July live stream probably. So that's what's up with that, Sarah. Yeah. Varley, she suddenly want the vegan chicken Tesco. Is that one of your markets out there? Sounds good. I guess I'm pretty hungry for my whole gym thing today. Wow, that's cool, Vegan Metal. Tim Grossi is a vegan with money, not a billionaire, and he raised over $1 million for St. Jude. Awesome. See? You can do good things with your money. Hello, him. How you doing? Let's see. Scooby-Doo, how many grams of fat do I have a day? I actually have no idea. Why do you ask? I don't count macros or anything like that, or count calories. Should I? Just curious what your thoughts are on that. Okay, Tesco is a mid-range supermarket chain here. They have great plant-based range. Okay, that's why I've heard of Tesco before. Okay, they're on strike for better pay. Your trash collectors, refuse collectors, whatever. They're on strike for better pay, and it's been real drawn out. There's talk outside of town, trashmen coming to collect for the meantime. Graven, yeah, they should pay them a living wage. I wonder what kind of wages they're getting paid. Hopefully they can negotiate so that they make good money. That's cool. So your trash dudes make good money. I thought typically it's a better than average paying job, better than minimum wage, because it's difficult work. You're out there all day, dealing with a lot of stuff, that most of us wouldn't want to deal with. Your trash dudes make good money, but home prices have doubled since you moved here. Yeah, pretty much everywhere. How long have you lived there? Sarah, I'm going to take a guess. If you're talking about a doubling of prices, I'm going to say at least 10 years, right? Heidi says, you can fill your car with trash and then we'll take it for $100 some places. Wow, that's what it costs to drop stuff off at a dump. 5 years? Home prices have doubled in 5 years? Holy moly, that's a quick doubling. Wow. Vondi says minimum wage in Washington is almost $17 an hour. What's it in California, guys? Isn't it somewhere around that now, I think? I know nationwide it's still $7-8 or something like that. But let's see. Vegan Male says, you are paid not great and you make more than minimum wage. You make more than fast food though, but not much. Okay, Graven says they want an 8% increase over the next 3 years. That sounds extremely reasonable, given that normally when we're not having a hyperinflation, normally the gross domestic product of the GDP in the United States increases 2.5-3%. So over 3 years, an 8% increase would just be keeping pace with inflation. I don't think that's unreasonable at all, Vondi. Yeah, completely. That's just keeping up with the rate of inflation. They want their dollar to be as powerful as it should every year, as we all do. That's why, most of us, if we don't have a better way to save money than just going to your normal Bank of America, Wells Fargo, whatever savings account, they give you 0.01% or something like that, which means next year that say you put $10,000 in, you have $10,002 $2 maybe or something like that. You haven't kept up with inflation, because inflation will eat into that. That 10,000 will only be worth like, it'll be worth like 3% less than that, and compound that each year, so yeah, 8K over 3 years, that doesn't sound crazy. That's awesome, Varlays. If your landlord hasn't increased your rent in 20 years, stay there as long as you can. Let's see, Travis says, I've seen our garbage guys throwing up in the street and just keep going. See, that's what I'm saying. It's tough work, I guess, from the smell and whatnot. I see them wearing masks and stuff, and I can see why. I've been out there a couple times. They go by here, and that it's often that truck leaves a horrible stench, and they're stuck with that truck all day. So yeah, it's tough, brutal work. So Sarah, late model, your rental house was $400,000 in 2019, and now it's $900K. Wow. Yeah, Vondi, you have to go on strike for basic needs. Basic needs meaning having your pay keep up with inflation. Okay, so the mayor gave herself a 9% raise, so why aren't the refuse collectors entitled to an 8% raise over 3 years? Yeah, it's funny how the mayors can do that sort of thing. Wow. Let's see, in Ohio, what's the minimum wage there, you guys? 10 and a quarter? Think you make 12 an hour? And Butusimo says in Pennsylvania, minimum wage is at the federal level of $7.25. There's no way to survive on that. That is just criminal. I believe that $7.25 has been frozen at that for like decades, right? I mean, come on. That's human cruelty and exploitation. I say that seriously. Wow. Maybe that was cool in the 80s or something, or 90s, maybe, but 2025, hell no. I believe it, Metalhead. You wore a respirator mask in a house you're going to buy for $10,000. I'm sure there's some stench in there. Yeah. Let's see, AJ says, Vegan Zombie did garbage truck work duty in Florida at 19, and he said it was the worst job he ever did. I completely 100% believe that. Yeah. The maggots on the trash will get you. Yeah, and in the 90s, Sarah, you're making $10 an hour. Yeah. Yeah, you can barely live in a tent making 25, 40 hours. That's criminal how it's not changed, Our country, man, just doesn't really try to help people anymore, in that regard. It's like, I'd rather live somewhere like Europe where, you pay more in taxes, but you have a higher standard of living, like wages, healthcare taken care of. It really is what Bernie Sanders said. In America, there's socialism for the very wealthy and rugged individualism for the rest. Okay, Obama raised the minimum wage last. See, I thought there was $7.25 sounds about right for the 1990s. So you're saying in the 2010s? That's when it was still raised by Obama to $7.25. That still seems like criminally low. Let's see, Vondi, you're healthy, fast-growing vegan baby, awesome, congratulations, was born in May. Your vegan wife is exclusively breastfeeding him, and he is healthy and happy as can be, on pace or ahead of all growth and development indicators. All the proof should need that animal products are completely unnecessary for human health. That's cool. I thought the American Academy of Dietetics and Nutrition, those guys, they walked it back saying, okay, we're cool with it for adults, but we're not so sure about children now. It's questionable, but they didn't say it was dangerous, right? They just couldn't give their full 100% stamp, but it shows you, they're not saying don't do it, but you should proceed with caution or get some special, I think it's specialized attention or something like that. But it sounds like it's working out great for you. So awesome, Vondi. I bet pay rates are low there in Bend, like what you're making the Bay Area like 25 years ago. Yeah. Hey, AJ, yeah, it's hard to be really proud. Maybe that's one reason why 4th of July celebrations and firework explosions weren't as numerous as past years. Maybe a lot of people aren't totally happy and proud right now, about our country. It's a lot of people, myself included, don't feel too optimistic about the path that we're on, especially how we don't care about people who aren't billionaires and multimillionaires. Like, yeah, leaving minimum wage at $7.25. That's just interesting. That just says a lot right there. I don't need to say anything about that. That speaks for itself. It's not rugged individualism like Bernie Sanders says. Indentured servitude for the rest of us. Okay, Beautissimo, thank you. It was raised to $7.25 in 2009. I cheated and asked Siri. Okay, when did Obama become president?
It started January 20th, 2009.
January 2009. I thought it was 2010. Okay, I can't even remember anymore. Okay, so that makes sense. That was one of the first things he did first. I mean, in the first year. So yeah, it's still a long time ago. Oh, that's 16 years ago. We're frozen in time. How much inflation has happened since 2009? Let me ask Siri. How much inflation has occurred since 2009?
Okay, I found this on the web for how much inflation has occurred since 2009. Check it out.
$1 in 2009 is worth $1.50 today. So, meaning something that cost $1 in 2009 probably cost about $1.50 today. But if you're still making $1, you can't buy as much stuff with that. So that's a rough. I use the Australian Siri. Yeah, I really like the accent of the male Australian Siri. First of all, I've been using it for a long time. I thought back when I first heard it, it was one of the more realistic sounding ones. But there's something just soothing about the Australian Siri's voice. I have it on all my devices. I just love the Australian male Siri voice. I'm sure when Apple created it, they were intending Australians in Australia particularly to use it, but I use it all the time. I don't even think about it anymore, AJ. But thanks for pointing that out. I use Australian Siri. Okay, Vondi, about your vegan baby, all the supplements your wife takes are those that an omnivore mother would take anyway. Yeah, awesome. Sprinkle of whimsy. Do you think YouTube is still a good side hustle for people if they're serious about it? I have no idea. I don't look at this as a side hustle. It's just something I do, So it's up to you. Depends on. It depends what your intentions. What is your goal? Like, what's your primary motivation or reason for doing YouTube? If it's to make money and that's all you care about, well, I'm gonna tell you right now. Vegan YouTube wouldn't be my first thing I would look at. I would just do something else, make crap content, that's had nothing like good about it. Just, I thought there'd be a large audience for it. I mean, I'd crack into it somehow. I wouldn't even use my face or anything like that. Maybe have a robot voice or something like that. But yeah, if that's what you want to do, if your sole goal is to make money, because let's face it, jobs are hard to come by now. The economy sucks. So if you really want to make money, do it, if you want to do vegan YouTube, anyway, if you want to do vegan YouTube, do it because you're passionate about veganism and you want to use social media as a platform to communicate and all that. But if you're looking to also and make a lot of money off of it, that and also part is really not I wouldn't say this is the best subgenre of social media content to get into if that's what your goal is. But yeah, Sarah says, I think it depends. It depends on what you want to do and what your intentions, what your goal is. If your goal is to spread a message about animal cruelty and exploitation, have at it. If you think you're going to make money off it, who knows? Probably not. I would get into something else. Like Uncle says, hey, Uncle, I hope you had a good date night tonight. Yeah, do car videos. Something like that, Just do anything on vegan YouTube. Seriously, I kid you not. It's not even followers, Sarah. It's getting views and clicks on ads. And more important than followers is the algorithms. The algorithm suggesting, recommending your content with others. Like, we still have over 200,000 subscribers, but most of those, I tell you, were gained in the first 3-4 years of our channel. So who cares how many followers you have? If you could have 10,000 followers. If you're getting 10, 20,000 views on a video, you're doing way better than we are. So yeah, it's just really how many people are viewing your content, and yeah, having the algorithm like you and suggest you is more important now than ever. But again, that's not why I'm doing this. If I really, my goal was to just making money on YouTube, this wouldn't be it. I do this out of first, I like hanging out with you guys. Seriously, I'm not just saying that for lip service or anything. I really enjoy chilling with you guys. You guys are great people, and if you're not a great person, you've been kicked out of here. Really, if you're going to remain with us, you're someone I can get along with here. So I like hanging out with you guys, and equally or even primarily, that's why I got into it, is to spread the vegan message. Let people know about all aspects of veganism. I kind of found my niche here. My niche is responding typically to anti-vegan misinformation. And thank you, AJ. You knew exactly the kind of video that I could totally sink my teeth into and rip apart. The plants are trying to kill us. So thank you for that, AJ. But yeah, responded misinformation, responding to all these people. Oh, I was raw vegan for 5 years and did all these water fasts and drank urine, but a vegan diet is why I'm having health issues right now. So I like to respond to all that. Just basically anti-vegan misinformation in all its various forms. Let's see, Sprinkle Vimsy heard the same thing. You heard car content is most need across platforms for some reason. I wish I liked cars. I don't give a crap about cars. I mean, I give a crap about mine, but yeah, I tell you, I gotta get some tires too. I have all these dumb things, Angie and I were out, I think it was the weekend before. We're having a good day. We're trying to get our thing back together. We were gonna go buy a bottle of Portuguese wine, at our wine shop. And we get back home, I turn it up. I go, oh no, what's going on? One of the tires is slowly deflating. Fortunately, I have AAA, and the guy came, and I have a spare. Most modern cars don't have spares, but I'm paranoid, so I keep a spare in the back seat, wedged between my seat and the back seat. No one ever sits. We never have 4 people in the car. It's rare when we have 3 people in the car. So I have a full spare. I put it on there, and I took it to a place that if they could repair it, if you're AAA, they'll repair it for free. My long story is they said I should probably get new tires. They're down to 4 30-seconds, and from what I understand, I did some research on that. It's still pretty safe to drive tires with 4 30-seconds tread left, but that's the point where you really want to start making a plan, get your thing together to get your tires changed. So I got to get some new tires, but unfortunately, yeah, my spare, it was, I kept it, I've been keeping it inflated, and first time I ever used it, by the way, too. My spare actually came from one time I went surfing. I ran over a nail or something, so I had him fix that tire, and I just said, hey, let me buy the hubcap or whatever and put it on there and have a real functioning spare. I had never used it for the 3 years it's been sitting in my back seat. It worked. I was nervous driving it to the tire repair place, but it got me there fine. So anyway, I gotta buy some tires. Let's see. But my point is, yeah, I don't like cars. I don't care. I wish we didn't have cars or whatever. I don't care. I don't sit there, I'm driving a car now. I feel so awesome. It's just to get me to where I gotta go. So yeah, unfortunately, I have no interest in ever making a car channel. You got to get new summer tires at the end of the season. your winter snow tires are in good shape. I don't even understand. Do you have to switch tires every season, Sarah? Explain this to me. I have no idea. Seriously, I have no idea what's going on. And you don't have a spare. Yeah, most cars don't have spares. They have a patch kit, right? That's what my spare is. It was a tire that had the patch kit, patch it up, and I said, I'm going to keep that tire now. Yeah, just keep the spare inflated. Unfortunately, I just had my car had like a regular service maintenance, and they check out the tire pressure, and I asked them to check my spare, and it was just like a few weeks before that. Let's see, remember using a penny to gauge tire wear? No, I don't remember doing that. I guess I've had more like cars minded people help me out with that sort of thing. Let's see. Let's see. So late model says, yes, seasonal tires for snow are a must here. You have separate winter rims that your winter tires are mounted on. So it's a quick swap. So you have to like have the tires replaced, like swapped, like, twice a year, I guess. Once for summer, one for winter. Let me know. That sounds like what you're describing there. Let's see. Sprinkle wants to know, was I ever fully raw vegan? I remember you guys going to Woodstock. Yeah, we were fully raw vegan like in 2012. 2013 for we never wrote it down, so I'm gonna guess minimum like 6 months, maximum like 10, 11, 12 months, something like that. I would say about 9 months roughly we were fully raw vegan. So that's why I feel I can speak about it, because I did it for a while. I understand the lifestyle, I understand what you got to do and what happens, so yeah, I tried it. And what got me out of it is like, why am I doing this for? It's like all these guys saying, you're going to feel amazing, you're going to have all this energy. It's like, I don't think I have any extra energy now than I did before when I was eating like just a balanced vegan diet. So it just seemed like why go to all this effort? It's a lot of work to have raw food, ready to go, ripe fruit, 3 meals a day or whatever. It's a lot of work for no real tangible benefit other than, I feel boo-boo or something like that, So I'm just going, what's the point? It's more expensive too. It's more, vegan is a privilege thing. At least raw vegan is. No, I'd rather just save some money and get a big sack of potatoes for 20-pound sack for $10. Try that as a raw vegan. But anyway, okay, so you replaced a tire in your car. You're such a man there, Johnny. Awesome. I don't know how to replace a tire. That's why I gladly pay AAA fees and get their services. Let's see. So late model says the tires, wheels stay together. You have a set for summer and winter, so they're mounted on. So you just swap them. So do you keep a stash of tires with wheels on them, like in the garage or something like that, like 4 of them, and you take them to the car place, or you know how to change them yourself or something like that? Interesting. I'm just curious. This is completely foreign to me. I've never lived anywhere like that before. D-Rabbit, on a similar note, says he needs tires. Assume you're a dude, right? For your bike. Bought it, put tubes on it, haven't ridden that bike. Don't know. Let's see. I didn't know there was some stuff you're supposed to do to keep it going. Yeah. And I'm sure my tires are shot now. Okay, you do have a tire guy. Okay. Soy latte. Yeah, Angie and I split a latte this morning. Actually, this morning we strangely, we're talking about how like last Saturday we went to that vegan Italian place that we love so much. Well, in the mornings they're open for coffee and have little pastry things. So I said, okay, I'm going to be visiting my mom tomorrow. It's been really hot all week, so I woke up this morning, Sarah, looked outside, overcast, just gray, like hell yeah, beautiful. It looks like Mendo or San Francisco or something like that. Like, I love overcast in the middle of summer. I told Angie it looks like May gray or June gloom is back here. So anytime after July, when July starts, if we get some overcast in July, August, September, we're stoked. It's like, yes, let's walk down to the Italian vegan place and get a coffee. We'll share a coffee, and we each got a little like a little pastry thing. It was like a banana raspberry cake or something like that. It was really cool. So that's what we did this morning. Just went and had our little split latte. It's really sweet, just like how I like it. A marzipan latte or something like that. And yeah, that was nice. Enjoying the beautiful summer overcast here. It's nice to live by the coast, because when I went to the gym, which is actually like a few miles inland from here, it was sunny. It looked like, just not a cloud in the sky. But driving back home like at 2 PM, because I was there like 3 hours, it's like, wow, it's totally overcast by our house. Awesome. So no, there was no heat wave, Uncle. We had the heat wave. Yesterday and Wednesday were the peak of the heat. Where you're at, you're about 8 degrees cooler than we are here, but anyway, yeah, inland it was like in the 90s, 100 degrees plus if you go to some of the furthest inland valleys and stuff. But no, we're over it now. It's actually cooling down. The ocean influence is back, and it's going to be around for a few days. So awesome. So yeah, we sprung into action. Let's go get our little coffee and little piece of cake. Favorite vegan content creators. Off the top of my head, Mike the Vegan, Earthling Ed, Joey Carbstrong, Inch Herbivore, Vegan Zombie, Brian Turner. Just naming people off the top of my head here. I know, and these are people I've known for a long time. I know there's probably a whole new crop of younger, vegan content creators. I just know these older people because they've been around a long time, because I'm an older person. I'm going to be 58, guys, in a couple weeks. Like, how many more days? Like, a couple more weeks, dudes. I'm going to be 58 years old. This is crazy, When I was playing basketball at the gym, I go, guys, just remember, I'm going to be 58 in a couple weeks, so just back off. Don't expect me to do all this crazy stuff. Don't guard me. You don't need to double team me. I'm older than your dads, maybe. Oh, you live in Arizona, 116 the other day. Yeah, it's been super hot. Yeah, this whole West Coast has been under a high pressure kind of heat dome thing. So yeah. What's that, Uncle? Your cousin David lost a cabin building in Texas from the flood. Yeah, bro. I didn't put that all together. That you have your family. You have family in Texas. That's where your mom's from, right? And I didn't put it together. That would be that part of Texas. I'm sorry to hear that. Metalhead, you're gonna try to make content again. At least try to, give it a shot. Blood Rose, thanks Blood Rose. With age comes wisdom. I'd like to think so, but I see a lot of dudes my age getting old. Like Joe Rogan. I tell you, we're born the same year, just 10 days apart. Me and Joe Rogan just born 10 days apart, and I'm still waiting for the wisdom to kick in on that guy. Yeah, you've been warm there too. Yeah, the whole West Coast there. All of us here in the West Coast, it's usually like the heat domes over the East Coast or the West, and we've had it. But yeah, the ocean influence is back. So it should if it already hasn't changed, it should be a little nicer for you today. I noticed like the other day, like San Rafael, where you're from, basically, I know you're not from there exactly, was 82. And let's see, like tomorrow, San Rafael is only going to be 67 degrees. So what a change, So yeah, we're having a nice cool down. Did I do a Valley Girl thing? Sarah, what's that law, Ryan Valley Girl? What did I say? I don't even remember now. Let's see. Oh wait, okay. Someone else's comment here. What Varliz said. Let's see. Accents. Graven says, at Varlas, does Ryan sound like the typical American to your ears, or did you imagine he would sound more Valley Girl? And Sarah said, lol, Ryan Valley Girl. Let's see. Posh accents. Huh, curious. AJ, 85 degrees there this week. And you got flooding out there, Heidi, in Boston? Wow, I didn't hear about that. Milos says that Medical Medium and Ralph Smart say you don't have to be a vegan. Well, of course they're going to say that, right? What kind of bullshit is that? If the reason you would say that is if you're not vegan. I mean, here's the thing. No one has to be vegan. I mean, you can't force someone to believe in, let's see. Oops, we don't need to see Elon Musk's obscenely low 3% tax bracket. No, you can't force anyone to believe that animal cruelty and exploitation are wrong. So in one sense, yeah, those guys are right, assuming that's indeed what they said. But there's an argument to be made, a very powerful argument, that animal cruelty and exploitation are morally wrong. It's why? Because it violates the rights of animals. They're autonomous sentient beings that have inherent rights. They are not inherently objects that are to be raised, exploited by humans so that, their body parts can be used as products. My point is, we don't need to do that. We have foods, we have other products, like say if we're talking about like leather for cars or whatever, use some other thing, so it's absolutely unnecessary to harm, kill a sentient being. So in that sense, I think it's actually imperative morally for people to become vegan, to be vegan. But do they have to? No one's going to shoot you if you're not vegan, unless you piss off a vegan that happens to be crazy or something like that. But yeah. Anyway. You could mow a popsicle right now. Mow or just chew a popsicle right now. Adam says you can make 1,000 veganing. What is that? Reading your guys' comments all here. Ooh, that sounds gross, AJ. I always hate it when you're watching a show or something and everything seems like it's cool. And all of a sudden, there's animal cruelty and exploitation happening. Like, no, I don't see these chickens get exploited or killed or harmed or anything like that. That sucks. There should be warnings for that at least. Let's see, Uncle, all this talk about heat waves, you had to get a Trader Joe's freezer pop. Nice. Yeah, Angie and I were at the market last week, and we're looking at the ice creams. We're reading all this, 40% saturated fat. I'm just looking at all this crap here. Let's just get some gelato, 0%. I consider that a health food, and that just hits the spot nicely. And actually, we finally, after the flat tire thing, like just yesterday, opened up that Portuguese wine. It was cheap. It was like $9.99. I was skeptical of how good it was going to be, but I told you we were lucky that the day we're at the wine shop, they do wine tastings on Fridays and Saturdays. It's kind of cool, but I don't do that because it's too much money for it. It's just like $25 a person. Often when Angie and I go to a wine country, out somewhere, we'll just split a tasting. We'll split the glass. But these things, you each have to have a glass. Anyway, we don't want to spend $50. But the owner guy let us have a little sip of it. Ooh, delicious. I'll buy it. So we got that, and our favorite Sonoma Napa Rosé. It's still in the fridge, but that Portuguese wine, so good. $9.99, the most quaffable, delightful little wine. So yeah, you can't judge a wine by its price. The reason I pointed that because I told the story about how I got the flat tire, and we never got to break the wine out till like almost 2 weeks later. So we didn't drink it that night. After getting the flat tire and having to get the tire repair, just kind of took the fun out of the day. Anyway, let's see. Atomic Ray, you're glad there are other vegans? There are many of us other vegans out here. Let's see. AJ, you're eating an Outshine bar? What is that? Yeah, AJ, Heidi wants to know what that is too. It's a fruit juice popsicle. Yeah, we need these things, during the summertime. We don't need them, but, get some cruelty-free, animal product-free popsicle, or in our case, gelato. Hell, I could have got the dairy-free Ben & Jerry's. I just didn't want to... I just didn't want all that saturated fat and that, from that. I'll just have it on special occasion, meaning my birthday's coming up, like I said, in a few weeks. So maybe I'll break out a Cherry Garcia for my birthday, you know? So, oh yeah, let me see what day my birthday falls on too. I don't think it falls on a Friday. I'm pretty sure it's like a Thursday. I just wonder how it would affect the live stream. Yeah, my birthday's on a Thursday, so there's 2 more live streams. You will see me at age 57. Then the third one, the 3 live streams from now, I will be 58 years old. So yeah, maybe I'll break out some Ben and Jerry's or something like that. I don't know if I've ever seen Hard Day's Night all the way through, D Rabbit White. I'm trying to figure out a good birthday movie, meaning that on my birthday, I have it doesn't have to be exactly on my birthday, but on or around my birthday, I have the privilege of calling a movie, meaning I can pick any movie I want. I don't have to like discuss it with Angie, like, oh, let's watch this instead. We'll often have a discussion about what we want to watch. So on my birthday, I get to call a movie. So I got to figure out what I want to see for my birthday. I'm kind of thinking, I haven't seen Pink Floyd live at Pompeii for a while. I know I haven't seen it on our big, you know, for us, a 42 or 43 inch television. I don't think I've seen it on a bigger screen. I've probably only seen it on Pan and Scan or something like that. So maybe I'll do that. That sounds good, Sarah. Man. Yeah, gelato's yummy. You know, if you don't mind it not being as rich, but more fruity and sweet. Yeah, gelato's great, especially when it's warm. Gelato just goes down so nice. Huh, that's interesting to know. Switzerland's doing that. They're going to have an animal cruelty label. Wow, can you imagine that happening here? That'll never happen. D Rabbit White. Oh my gosh, Ryan, I've been watching that movie since you're like 3. Your earliest memory is hearing you want to hold your hand in your crib. That's why you like Hard Day's Night. Okay, awesome. Let's see. So this is how you handle it in your house there, Sarah. You can't handle TV show discussions. I just tell Bestie 3 genres you're interested in that night and let him pick. Yeah, we try all sorts of different methods. Yeah, we usually don't discuss hardcore, but yeah, that's a good method for sure. Yeah, other nights Bestie will tell you the vibe he's feeling, and I'll pick. Often what we'll end up doing is like now there's so many more series, you know, things rather than movies, you know. So if we watch episode 1 and we're into it, so next night we'll watch the episode 2 of something. Like, yeah, we just finished up the most recent season of Grogu. What's that little guy? That little baby Yoda. The Mandalorian. It was all right. It's cool. That little Yoda guy. He's so freaking cute, though. I mean, that's what makes that. Whoever thought of that at Disney? It's a genius, you know. Or else that series wouldn't be so attractive. But anyway, yeah. If you're into cute little green animal men, yeah, Mandalorian. Check it out. Favorite vegan actor? It's got to be Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, I'm with you, Sarah. I may have had cable TV. I think we were called early cutters back in like the early 2000s. It was like before the iPhone came out. I'm pretty sure we had already long cut. We were just watching like internet content, you know. But yeah, as soon as stuff like Netflix and other streaming services came out, yeah, it just made it so much easier. That's cool, Johnny. You're not much of a TV show person. You love YouTube too much. Yeah, there's plenty of great content on YouTube, especially if you have specific things you're looking for. I don't really need like a TikTok algorithm to show me like weird little things to watch for a little bit and get addicted. I have things I'm researching or want to learn about or want to hear about. And yeah, YouTube's fantastic for that. That's awesome, Sarah. You've been kind of bored with YouTube lately, but you always watch me. Awesome. I've been watching this philosopher dude. I found out he's a vegan. His name is allegedly Ian. He was on that Jubilee. Have you guys, Jubilee, where they have like 20 persons confronted, blah, blah. There was an episode where they had like 20 atheists and Jordan Peterson. He's one of the dudes on that. He burned Jordan Peterson like hardcore on that. Anyway, I've been watching this dude lately, allegedly Ian, and I heard him say that he was vegan because he has a moral philosophy that's very similar to like veganism, I think. So it made sense that he would follow it all the way. So I was really stoked about that. And the cool thing about that, this guy is a philosophy nut. He doesn't have a degree in philosophy, but he knows way more than I do. So I've been totally into allegedly Ian lately. I even leave little comments sometimes when I see the people he's chatting with just totally spiral out. But anyway, yeah, if you're watching Ian, I think you're awesome and you're doing awesome at philosophy and you're vegan. We should chat sometime, fellow vegan philosophy person. Yeah, sprinkle of whimsy. All TikTok showing you is horrible ICE video attacks. Yeah, I had to actually go. I almost stopped using Reddit because of that. I just getting depressed every time I open up my Reddit, seeing ICE and like in Southern California just doing all this crazy, horrible shit to people. Just detaining American citizens. You know, this is effed up stuff just based on, oh, you're Latin, you're going with everyone else. Anyway, what I had to do is go into my Reddit, and I found there's a way to actually have it only show you the subreddits that you're following or subscribed to, because it was suggesting all these other ones to me. So no, I just locked it down to the ones I'm following. And even then, the content filters in because I follow like Long Beach subreddit and stuff. So anyway, so yeah, that's what I had to do. Now Reddit is, I almost said I can't use Reddit anymore. It's like the new social media platform that I actually enjoyed, and I'm going, shit, man, now the country's all screwed up and I can't use Reddit anymore because it's showing me all this horrible stuff that's going on all day and I don't want to see it all day. Yeah, it's good to be aware. I'm not saying I want to stick my head in the sand or anything, but I just don't need to see all this crazy shit all day. But anyway, I've locked it down. I just follow the subreddits I've been following. I follow a good few, like maybe 20 or 30 or so. So it's great. So I'm just letting you guys know, if you can, if your social media is making you feel horrible, you're having like, negative mental health effects from it, see what you can do to control your social media experience. Not every platform allows you to do it. A lot of them, like YouTube, TikTok, you're locked into the algorithms, Facebook, Instagram, so you might not be able to do it, but Reddit still, at least for now, lets you do that. Cool, Sarah. You're lucky you don't see ICE stuff on Reddit. I probably clicked a few to see, wow, this is happening in Long Beach, seeing those people getting, like, guys in, like, combat fatigue, Johnny. Like, they're going to the freaking combat. They have all this armor and shit on and SWAT vehicles and stuff, just hauling people out around. And I'm scared to go out in some of these areas, but I'm lucky. I haven't seen anything like that in real life, but they're happening all around here. Probably because I don't go out that much. Anyway, vegan sign guy, Jordan Peterson is vegan for the animals. Are you kidding? He's a carnivore. Yeah, the Gen X Reddit. Yeah, Sarah turned me on to the Gen X Reddit, and it's funny. It's sometimes sad and depressing a little bit, seeing us all Gen Xers getting old and complaining about it and stuff. But anyway, the thing is, Asia, you can't get radical against the ICE kidnappings. If you confront them, they'll just haul your ass away, and even though you're a citizen, you might not be able to get out or prove it until 24 to 40 hours later. So it's scary as fuck. And I'm sorry to cuss there, but it is, man. This is not the United States that I know and love, where everyone, people, legal or illegal, citizens get hauled away. No probable cause. Just guys, all this armed gear swarming on you, attacking you, and taking you away. And this is happening to just like all kinds of people, citizens and non-citizens. And it's troubling, and it's early sign of fascism. AJ, an ICE thug kidnapped a guy while he was in surgery. Like, what I'm saying, where else I've never seen it in the United States. Like, say you did a bad crime, and the cops are there to arrest you. I think they would at least let you finish your surgery. You know what I'm saying? They're just snatching people out of all sorts of just messed up situations, citizens and non-citizens. Yeah, and here's what's effed up too. You guys know, yeah, you cannot identify them. They're wearing masks, so you can't use facial recognition later. There's no identifying badge or number. And like, what is that? How can you like do all this crazy shit and not be held accountable for your actions? If you did something improper or wrong, you just get away with anything. This is yeah, this is one reason why I'm thinking, maybe I will move to like Portugal or something like that, but that's still not in the works or anything like that. I'm still hoping to move to Northern California. I'll just have to get used to living in a fascist country for the rest of my life. Yeah, they're not just going after the criminals like our president campaigned on. No, they're just going after anyone. Criminal, non-criminal, citizen, whatever. You know, if you look that I saw they're saying they don't even need probable cause. They're just like, well, we just think you're illegal. We'll just grab you, tackle you, and lock you up, and we'll sort it out later, you know? No, I've seen some, Johnny. Not all. I've seen some in like full some kind of combat gear, more than just like, you know, like a heavily armed and defended police officer, just like a few levels beyond that. Uncle, a friend's daughter-in-law works as a compliancy director for the Glasshouse cannabis farm that just got raided. What? ICE is raiding like cannabis places? What? Wait, what's up with that? Like that's legal in California. Like, wait, tell me more about that. Like, why? America is still the best country in the world on what metric? You know, I hear a lot of people say that, and I'm curious on what metric are you saying the best? In what way? Because I'm seeing like, you know, like Spain looks pretty cool, Portugal looks pretty cool, Australia and New Zealand look awesome. I don't think I have enough income to like move there. They want you to be pretty well to do. But anyway, I'm not sure. You know, you don't get healthcare here. You get healthcare in all these other countries I just mentioned. It looks like a good quality of life there. People aren't getting thrown into like vans and stuff. Well, yeah, there's a lot of pushback from Spain tourists, but yeah, Spain's not on my list really for sure. It's you know, Northern Cal or maybe Portugal or something. Yeah, especially at Barcelona. I saw a documentary how like the Mallorca, an island there, totally getting priced out, not by tourists, but by like multi-millionaires and billionaires is buying all the land and property there, and locals can't afford to live there anymore. Being metalhead, you're afraid for your Indonesian friends that are here on work permits, and your previous MD could get deported because he's from Nigeria. See, yeah, exactly. Stuff like this. Like, how is that making America the greatest place in the world by sending all these people away? Okay. Carpinteria and Camarillo, which are both here in Southern California by the coast. Same weed company raided yesterday. What's up with the weed raids? What does that have to do with anything? Like, what the fuck? Get out of here. We voted for this. It's legal here. What does ICE have to do with weed? They're supposed to deal with immigration. Yeah, Johnny, I'm saying if I live in somewhere like Portugal, I can easily go chill in Spain or something like that. They're going after cannabis farm workers because there won't be the same repercussions going after food workers. Wow. Like, how is this good? Like, oh my God. It was the workers, really, not the weed. Okay, I thought they were like raiding like legal compliant cannabis businesses. Not to say this is better or anything. But yeah. Oh, Sarah. Yeah, it's 8:00. Thanks for reminding me, Sarah. I gotta go. Bestie and I are gonna watch the new Medea movie. Lol, don't laugh. What is that? I've never. I know you got to go, but tell us, Sarah. Really cool. What is that movie? Maybe it's something I'd be into. Yeah, it sounds more like that, AJ. You're absolutely right. And all of us who are not purely white should be afraid. Maybe someday the tide will turn against Asians. Who knows? Okay, so Uncle says the cannabis farm that's in the news for being raided by ICE a couple days ago is where she is the director of compliance. The workers all have to be full citizens according to their strict license rules. Makes sense. Yeah, there's strict rules that cannabis companies have to follow here in California. You fuck or screw one of those up, you can lose your license. Business over. Tyler Perry dressing up as a woman. Okay, I'm not even sure if I know who Tyler Perry is, so I guess it's not something that's right up my alley. I'll ask Angie if she knows about that. Let's see. That's a way to put it frankly there, AJ. No beating around the bush. What's that sprinkle of whimsy? Do I think the country's the worst off it's ever been? You're a bit older than me. Well, yeah, I'm only so much older. I can't tell you about the entire history of the country or anything like that. But since I've been alive, yeah, it's one time where it's like, oh, should I be scared to be an American? I don't know, you know. I've never had that feeling before. It might be times, like George Bush sucked or something like that. It's different, you know. Now it's like, what's going on and where are we going? Is this a good place for us to be? Let's see, Johnny says, a lot of people in the military are immigrants. They just use it as a way to get their citizenship, but you have to be a documented immigrant to join. Yeah, makes sense. Totally makes sense, yeah. I've heard them deporting people who have served in the military once they're done. Not once they're done, but after they were done. However, you must be a U.S. citizen to get a security clearance. That makes a lot of sense. Milo, I'm not trying to defend Biden or anything, but I was never afraid as a United States citizen when Biden was running. I never afraid I was going to get deported, or even though I'm a longtime citizen my whole life, so were both my parents. And now I'm like, what the hell's going on? I just trying to get rid of everyone. That's not why. I don't know. Never had fears like this before. So no, there's some differences there. And Biden's not really. I never saw him to be one to try to take away like healthcare from millions of people. I'm not saying he's awesome and solved all our problems, but at least he maintained a certain level of order and peace for people to be able to pursue their lives and goals here. That seems to be a little tougher each day now. Yeah, AJ, yeah, you never felt afraid and depressed under Biden. I mean, what president should do is be able to, have a system in place that allows people to live their lives, pursue their goals, and we have a right to pursue those goals using, having our ability to be free, make decisions, and have a baseline of like just well-being so we can be free and make our decisions, pursue our goals. And that's what a decent president should have. This is a baseline minimum right there. But yeah, so if someone's asking, is this the best I've ever seen in America? Hell no, far from it. Yeah, and I think that could be why a lot of 4th of July celebrations were tampered down a bit this year. Let's see, Varla says, our far-right party said that only people who have 2 British parents could count as citizens. They shut up when it was pointed out that that would exclude their bloody king. But I agree with AJ. Yeah, Biden, for all his flaws or whatever, he's a very professional president. Ran the country as what you'd expect. Not to say it could have been better or anything like that. But yeah, he isn't perfect. Nobody's perfect. What kind of terrifying chaos did Biden do, Milo? Just curious what you're referring to exactly. Because what I'm seeing right now is literally a lot of terrifying chaos. Fellow neighbors and citizens getting rounded up and taken away. So what did Biden do? I'm not trying to justify him being some awesome angel or something like that. I just, as a person who's living here has lived here under both of these past 2 presidents, I can tell you right now, for many of us citizens, whether you're on the right or left, is a lot of chaos right now, and it's quite literally fucking terrifying in a lot of what's been happening lately. So yeah, what has Biden done? So I'm curious to see what your perspective is. Like, what was so terrifying back then for the past 4 years, and now it's over, and now things are chill and cool and non-chaotic. I'd like to know what you're getting there, Milo. Hey, thanks, Redlocks. And Milo, you're lucky. Senator Murkowski from Alaska cut a deal on the big beautiful bill so that the non-continental states, which means her state Alaska and your state Hawaii, aren't going to get the healthcare Medicaid cuts or something like that. Biden let illegal aliens into the country. So how is that terrifying and chaos? Because those are your own words there. You said terrifying chaos. So I'm asking you, okay, let's assume he let them in. I'm not sure you mean how he let them in exactly. But let's assume he opened the door or whatever. How did that cause terror and chaos? And for whom? Because I did not experience any terror and chaos by illegal aliens into the country. But I'm seeing firsthand when I guess I had to turn off a lot of my social media. I had to make Reddit only show the subreddits I'm subscribed to. I'm seeing lots of terror and chaos happening right now. People getting rounded up, citizens, non-citizens. If you're Latin looking, you get rounded up and they'll deal with you later. That's terror and chaos, and it's illegal. It seems like there's like no process that they just get anyone. How did illegals entering our country cause terror and chaos? Those are your words. I want to know how that's terrifying and chaos, because I did not experience that. Maybe in Hawaii you had terror and chaos from illegals entering the border here on the continent. I just want to know what you're talking about. A good point, Milo, about Milo. All of us here, unless in Milo's case he's native Polynesian, in our cases here Native American, and we're all immigrants living on stolen land when you get down to it. But yeah, no human is illegal. They're undocumented. That illegal is such like a loaded term. Oh, interesting point there, D-Rabbit. I didn't know that about Florida, where you're saying they're Florida in the 80s. Maybe I don't see an answer from you, Milo. Do you want to walk that back a little bit, maybe? I mean, that's totally fair. If you misspoke, if you overstated your claim there, totally get it. It happens all the time. Just let me know if you want to walk that back about the terror and chaos from the last 4 years, which I didn't experience, and I really doubt you did too. Let's see. Sam says in New York City there was chaos caused by too many migrants. I saw you comment and you deleted it. You can't have peace without, can't have chaos without order or something like that. I'm just asking you. I don't think that answered the question, Mile. I'm just asking. Since you said there was chaos and terror the past 4 years, I want to know exactly what you're talking about. Did you experience chaos and terror? Because I sure as hell didn't. I had pretty peaceful and non-chaotic, except for when I was dealing with a sociopath last year. Other than that, I haven't had too much chaos and terror until more recent times. Yeah, good point, AJ. I don't like this otherness thing too. We're all humans. Let's not try to otherize people, I don't do that. Even with or non-vegans. I know there's some vegan channels out there, influencers, whatever the hell you want to call them, that try to otherize non-vegans, make them sound like they're horrible people. We should harm them or something like that. We should ridicule them and stuff like that. I don't do that. I'll point out the misinformation and nonsense they'll spew, but I don't try to make them an other, not worthy of like basic humanness or something like that. Yeah, Varlish, othering is gross and just needs to stop. If we're vegans, Milo and me and everyone, it's a peaceful, compassionate belief system. We have compassion for animals. We don't want them exploited and harmed. And same with humans. I don't like seeing humans exploited and harmed. And I have compassion for humans, just as I have compassion for animals. Good point there, D-Rabbit. You're alone as far as family, as most of your immediate family voted for this. I now understand how the state of things in Ireland could separate even brothers. Yeah, good point. But yeah, it all starts with an us versus them tribalism. I don't know how people keep falling for this time and time again. Anyway, you can't have peace without order. Laws are necessary. Okay, do you think that answers the question, Mile? I'm trying to ask you. You're the one that asserted there was terror and chaos for the past 4 years. And I'm trying to ask you specifically. I mean, you gave me some kind of philosophy there or something like that. That's cool. But I'm asking you, be specific. What was the chaos and terror that has been happening here? Because I didn't experience chaos and terror until recent times. I don't think you would know what it's like to not be fully white. Now I'm a little scared to actually go out places like, gee, well, I get rounded up or something like that because I don't have like blonde hair and blue eyes. That I shouldn't feel that way. I'm an American citizen. My parents were, so I shouldn't have any kind of feeling. I never had a feeling like that my whole life until this year. There's something fucked up about that. Why is that even entering my mind right now? It just shows you might not understand what's going on here. You can talk about law and order. That's cool. I believe in laws and stuff like that too, but we shouldn't be a point where, American citizens are like actually being detained, rounded up without any reason. And people like myself who have been citizens their whole life along with their parents who are like, is it safe to go out places? And AJ puts out, most immigrants are law-abiding. It's not just the criminals and bad people. No, if you're Latin or dark skinned, you're getting rounded up. They'll ask the questions later. I hope so, Heidi. But I've personally seen firsthand, not firsthand in front of me, but seen American citizens get detained, you know? So I just have the privilege that my ethnicity is not the one that's being targeted right now. But, you know, what if it is later on? Don't know, you know? What if, you know, there's some kind of trouble with China in the future, you know? It's totally plausible. There's an uneasy tension and truce between China and the United States. Things could change. You know, I'm just saying, it's not unreasonable to think that now. Something I wouldn't have ever considered ever before, but now it's not a far-fetched, crazy, wacky, zany idea. We had riots and organized crime because of Biden. What are you talking about? Can you tell me a riot that Biden caused? I'm just curious what you're talking about. You make it sound like it's so factual here. What is the riot that Joe Biden is responsible for? I'd love to hear that. Yeah, please explain. Be specific. Just don't give me some general talking point. Just tell me if there was a riot that Joe Biden caused. Tell me. I will look it up right now. I'll see, did Joe Biden cause any riots? Let's look right now. Is Joe Biden responsible for any riots? Let's see. Not seeing anything off the top of the results here. Can you be specific? Like, what are we talking about there, Milo? What do you know that I can't find anywhere? I'm not going to pivot, Samuel. I want to get to the bottom of this one. I want to hear the riots that Joe Biden supposedly has. Again, I'm not here defending him. I'm just trying to sort out fact from not fact. Here's the whole thing. I have no axe to grind here. I want to believe in true things. That's what a proper, honest, sincere person, and especially a philosopher, should have. I want to believe in as many true things as possible. I want to have as many true beliefs as possible and have as few false beliefs as possible. And I'm really skeptical that we have any information or support that Joe Biden is responsible for some riots. And even if he were, you know, it still wouldn't seem like it's an equal to the amount of terror and chaos happening right now, you know? Yeah, I've heard it's big, some far-right conspiracy theories that, like, the Democrats or Joe Biden were responsible for the January 6th insurrection. You know, whatevs. Even though it was well known that many people arrested there, what their political affiliations were. Some were actually running for, or elected officials, and it was well known what their affiliations were. Milo, tell me. No, I'm not going to deny the truth. I want the truth, Milo. Make me believe what you believe. You said Biden caused riots, and I couldn't find one. So if you can tell me a riot that Joe Biden caused, please tell me. Yeah, during the Biden administration, stores close, buildings burn. That happens all the time. Stores close, buildings burn. That happens. Is it the President of the United States who's responsible for buildings burning or stores closing? I mean, one of my favorite restaurants around here closed. I didn't blame it on the president, you know, didn't blame Trump or Biden, whatever. It's business, you know. It's tough. Running a business is hard, but, you know, how do we know that the president closed one of my favorite restaurants here? Yeah, AJ wants the same thing. How did Biden cause that, and in what context? Yeah, please, let us know that. But yeah, I agree. Stores close, buildings burn. You know, how is that the president's responsibility or doing? All right, so we wait for Milo to give us evidence. Again, Milo, if you want to walk any of these claims back, totally cool. It happens. Sometimes, I do it too. Sometimes I overstate a position and I realize I don't have the evidence to support what I said. I'll walk it back. I'm cool with that. I'm honest about it when I do that. And it's a respectful, honorable thing to do. I don't think any honest interlocutor, any debater, anything like that would think any worse if someone says, yeah, I overstated my position. I'll walk it back. It's totally cool. So if you want to do that, I'm giving you every opportunity right now to walk it back, that Biden caused riots, he caused buildings to burn, and he caused chaos and terror. It just sounds like you read some information that wasn't all that awesome for you. Oh, sorry to hear that, D Rabbit. You can't really be friends with your sister anymore. Butissimo says the Biden riots view sounds like it came from the Cash Jordan YouTube channel. I don't even know who that is. Milo, I agree. I don't want people invading the walls of my house. I agree, but how does that do? See, you're pivoting. You're not answering the question. I've asked you specifically. You're just telling me, you're just throwing more stuff on the wall. You know what I'm saying, Milo? Just back up here. Tell me, what is this riot that Joe Biden called? He said that he's responsible for stores closing too and buildings burning and stuff like that. Yeah, of course, people don't want crap thrown at their house. I agree 100%, but how is that a relevant piece of information that supports what you've been saying all along here? But yeah, who wants people invading the walls of my house? Totally agree. But if you're trying to insinuate that crime is caused primarily by undocumented people or something like that, you better have some good statistics, because from what I've seen here, most of the crime here is caused by people that live around here, citizens. So I'm not sure if that's the implication you're trying to pull out or something like that, but nope, that's not a known fact or anything like that. But yeah, I agree. I don't want people invading my house. Absolutely. I'm not trying to say, yeah, home invading, cool. No, I'm not suggesting that in any way. Heidi, conservatives won't win here. And I'm just asking Milo to support his position. I don't care if someone's... I tell you, I'm just middle of the road. I'm not politically affiliated. I'm just someone who... I told you, Heidi and everyone, I want to believe as many true things as possible and want to have as few... Ideals have zero false beliefs. That's all I'm asking for. I don't have an axe to grind. I just want to know true facts, believe true facts, and ignore and discard untrue things. That's it simply. And Milo made some claims here that he can't seem to support. And I just asking Milo, do you really believe that, or do you want to walk it back? Because it looks like you can't provide any evidence that Joe Biden caused a riot. Just like I don't think you really find evidence that George Bush caused a riot or something. I'm not trying to take a political side here. You can find evidence that Donald Trump could have caused a riot. One can make that argument for January 6th. I don't want to go down that road right now. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to get support for this. What's that, Heidi? Anything he says won't go over? What do you mean? What do you mean anything he says? I'm asking him to support the claim he made. And he's bringing up other things that are not support for the claim he made. Like no one wants their house getting invaded. Yeah, of course. I agree 100%. But what does that have to do with Biden caused? I just want to know. Because I really think, Milo, I like you. I really like you, Milo. Don't get me wrong. I just think you've been reading some weird, dark portions of the internet, like far-right stuff that Heidi's not reading. Heidi's just on the normal right stuff. I think Milo's gone down some dark rabbit hole of some kind. I'm just telling you, there seems to be no credible information for Biden caused riots and stuff. Heidi, no, yes, if he can support it, it would make a difference. If he can show me that Biden caused riots, I would go. Yeah, Heidi, are you not listening to me? I said I want to have as many true beliefs as possible. If he can show me that Biden caused riots, I would have a new belief. Oh, wow, Biden caused riots. If that was true, I will have that belief in my head. But right now, I'm not seeing it. All I'm seeing is he just says, oh, no one wants their house walls invaded. Yeah, it's true, but that's not evidence. Do you understand what I'm getting at here? I don't have a political axe to grind. I just want to get the truth out. And if we're not going to discuss this in a honest, good faith way, I guess we'll have to move on. And so Milo, so you're back. You said, I watched them on the news, but the media said they're the most peaceful protests. Does that answer my question, or are you just giving us something new there, Milo? I'm not sure what you're referencing there about the riots that... So you're saying Biden didn't cause a riot, he caused a peaceful protest? Is that what you're saying? If you want to walk it back to that, I said, I'm fine with that. If he made a peaceful protest happen, cool. That's far from causing a riot. Yeah, I did Google it, Heidi. I Googled it and I couldn't find anything. I'll show you again. I said, is Joe Biden responsible for any riots? And I'm not seeing anything. I've seen him condemn violent protest. If he caused a riot, it should be here. Joe Biden, the last one there from YouTube, Joe Biden condemns violence and ongoing U.S. protests. I'm just not seeing the claim that Joe Biden causes riots. Do you understand, Heidi? If he caused a riot, I want to know about it. I want to know that the last president, number 46, caused a riot. I should know this. This is like a important thing to know about American history. So I just want to know what the truth is. And I'm really skeptical because I'm not seeing any evidence. I looked it up, didn't see anything. I've asked Milo like 10, 20 times. Not getting anything. So that's where I'm at. I'm not picking on him. I just want to see what the evidence is. So I'm just going to take it that there isn't any because, here's the thing. If he had caused a riot, what would we expect? What would probably be the case? You would think it would be well documented. It would be a known fact. I would have heard about it. I would have seen it on the news, something like that. I would have read about it on Reddit or something like that. You think we would expect if he had indeed caused a riot, we'd be able to just Google it and find the story, the information, talking about it and support it. We're just not finding that. So that leads me to be extremely doubtful of the claim in the first place. My hypothesis is that it's not true. What would I expect if it were not true that, he didn't cause the riots? Well, I would expect exactly this, that we can't find anything, that I'd never heard about it. That's exactly what I expect. So I'm not trying to be a dick or anything about here with this. I'm just trying to understand if this is true or not, and I'm not seeing anything. This is exactly what I expect, that there's nothing. That's not what he said, Sam. Nice try, but that's not what he said. Yeah, it's time to move. I gotta have dinner. It's 8:30. I'm half an hour late. Angie's gonna be mad because we're gonna make some Tuscan kale pilaf, and that takes about half an hour from the moment I get it started in the pressure cooker to the moment it is done. I'm not sure we talk about there, Uncle. I mean, not Uncle. We could talk about that some more, but I still not seen any evidence about the riots and stuff. But anyway, yeah, tonight was interesting. But anyway, guys. Anyways, Milo, I still like you. Don't worry. It's all good. Don't have any hard feelings or anything like that. We'll agree to disagree on the truthfulness of what's going on with the information that doesn't support that. But yeah, it's all good. It's all fine. Anyway, guys, I'm glad you were able to make it, Uncle. Hopefully you had a nice day with Myra and everyone else. Great seeing y'all. Thank you, AJ. And was that it? Yeah, it was our only super chat tip today. Thank you, AJ, for single-handedly keeping our vegan channel and vegan activism afloat here. And yes, Heidi, we can be different. My point is, I ground my what I do here in veganism and anything else in critical thinking and evidence-based information. So if someone's going to say, yeah, if the plants are trying to kill us, I want to see the information. If it's not there, I'm going to laugh at it. And any other claim, even if it's not vegan really, I just want to see the information to see what's true. Because again, I just want to believe in true things in reality. So anyway, guys, good to see you all. Next week, I think I have a video idea, but if you guys have some more ideas, AJ, if you see another weird plants are trying to kill us type level of nuttiness, please send it, because that was exactly when I saw that. I go, yeah, exactly. This is my kind of video. So yeah, keep sending my way. I'll keep responding to anti-vegan misinformation, and should have another live stream next Friday, guys. And I'll be 1 week away from my last week at 57 on a live stream, guys. So anyway, guys, thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out with me on this Friday night. I hope you guys had a good time. I had a good time. Totally did. I always have fun with y'all. You guys are the best. All right, guys. So until next time, remember, it doesn't suck being vegan. All right, guys. Take care. See you soon.